that? Maybe a black and purple kit, some strange kind of pattern on it, but I suppose it sells in the club shops. That's all that matters, eh? So it's Son with the free kick out wide on the Tottenham left. There's going to be an in-swinger from the South Korean. One man in the wall, that's Miggy Almiron. Son hits it straight into the wall. Disappointing free kick, that from Tottenham's number 7, but he's got it back on the left-hand side, but his touch lets him down, and it drifts out of play for a goal kick. Tottenham with all the pressing in the first 4.5 minutes here in North London.
He'll be disappointed with that, Son. It was a good opportunity to put a decent ball into the box, and he's hit the first man.
Not a big man either in the wall.
It's a bright start from Spurs, this.
Yeah, well, Steve Bruce is already checking his watch. I'm sure he's not that nervous at this point. I should run you through the Newcastle side as well, who've pretty much just been defending so far. Carl Darlow in goal, Javier Manquillo in at right back, with Jamal Lascelles and Federico Fernandez as the 2 centre-backs, with Matt Ritchie in on the left-hand side today. And then the midfield of Hendrick, Shelvey and Hayden, with, like we said, Almiron and Wilson out wide, with the Brazilian Joe Linton leading the line for Newcastle today. This is his first league start of the season. Came off the bench in the last 2 games for today's visitors. Yep, to bag a goal.
Well, they've actually swapped now, Callum Wilson and Joe Linton. So Wilson's up top on his own, and the big centre forward, Joe Linton, is out on that left-hand side of a midfield 4. I'm not sure that will suit him or Newcastle.
That's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Seeing they've gone back into a 5-4-1 already, and there's an early kind of vibe from Newcastle here that it is going to be a defensive performance, as Almiron and Manquillo get into a bit of a mix-up, and Spurs get possession back, but Hayden steps in to pick it away, but Winks gets the second ball. And now Højbjerg forward, passing to Moura. Clever little turn from the Brazilian to skip out to the Tottenham right. 30 yards from goal. Has his pocket picked though by the left mid at the moment, Joe Linton.
Well, this system's all well and good for Newcastle until you concede, if they concede, and then all of a sudden they will have to change, and it's difficult to come out of a negative system. If they win the ball back, they're defending quite deep. If they win it back, they've only got the one out ball of Wilson at the moment. It's extremely difficult to get up the pitch.
Well, if you're playing defensive football, surely having pace in the team is the counter-attacking opportunity, but this Newcastle team doesn't, for me, have that much pace in it, apart from really Callum Wilson, who's not electric, but he's fast, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, Almiron he's got decent pace. The middle of the pitch, I wouldn't say possesses hardly any pace. Joe Linton isn't quick out on the left. So it's all well and good playing in this formation, but inevitably you play this formation, you need to break quickly.
Yeah, and Newcastle might have the opportunity to do so now, but they won't, because Højbjerg has tripped Hendrick. But there we saw Joe Linton winning the ball on the left hand side, doing a defensive job for a striker, but he seems so far, granted we're less than 7 minutes into the game, but he's doing a decent job on the left hand side so far for Newcastle United.
Well, Steve Bruce has obviously seen something in him where he thinks he can play that role. I would say that if you're going to play the team and the 11 that you're playing, then Wilson would be more suited out there.
Well, we saw them start with Carroll and Wilson in the defeat against Brighton. Is it just a complete lack of faith in Carroll? Maybe as Newcastle come forward here, it's out wide with Javier Manquillo in the penalty area, pulls into the middle for Wilson, who completely misses it, and Matt Doherty does a clever little turn on the edge of his 6-yard box and clears it away to Lucas Moura. And now maybe Spurs will have the chance on the counter, but Shelvey and Joe Linton link up to win it back, and Newcastle regain possession with Federico Fernandez, and they will enjoy a little bit of the ball in the back for the first time this afternoon. Darlow in possession, goes long looking for Almiron. Not quite sure why he's aimed for Almiron, one of the smaller players in the Newcastle purple and black today, when you've got Joe Linton on one side and Callum Wilson up the other. But just going back to the Andy Carroll situation, is it just because they played so poorly against Brighton Hove Albion he's decided to just change the lineup, the shape, everything?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Andy Carroll was poor, he hardly had a kick. Newcastle didn't help by the way they played. You play Andy Carroll, you need to get the ball wide and get crosses in the box, play to his strength, which they didn't do. But he was poor. I would agree with you there, Richard.
Yeah, well, Callum Wilson, the man who's been brought in to get goals, he might get the opportunity today, but at the moment every single outfield player is currently in the Newcastle half. Tottenham in possession, about 10-15 yards inside the Newcastle half. Here's Winks, gets his head up but has to go sideways to Son, who's always looking to get the ball onto his right foot. He does, but he goes out left to Ben Davies, who swings the ball in towards the back post. Lucas Moura's there, but it's gone all the way through to Matt Doherty. The new signing from Wolves goes back to Højbjerg, who chucks on towards the back post where Kane arrives. A strong save from the left hand of Carl Darlow. and Harry Kane from 6 yards out has a brilliant opportunity to open the goal scoring, but for the man in pink in the Newcastle net.
Good header again. Darlow was equal to it. It's rolled back. It's a lovely ball in from Højbjerg. Just splits those two centre halves. Good header. But again, Darlow's equal to it. Good save. Good ball in. Great header. Possibly straight at the keeper, but there's still enough pace on it.
It comes in from the corner and Newcastle are able to deal with it. Richie gets under it and boots it away as Almiron just runs into Lo Celso. Bit of a strange one that from Almiron. I don't think he's going to get the free kick. The ref will look at it once more, but it looked not to be much in that, if you ask me.
No, they were both running back, wasn't they? And Lo Celso's got a look on his face to say, what are you doing on the floor?
Well, there's the replay.
Oh, yeah, he's just blocked his run, hasn't he? But
he's blocked his run, but he's nowhere near the ball, so it's a bit unnecessary, really.
It's unnecessary. It's a free kick, but not to the extent that Almiron needs to roll around on the floor like he did.
Well, he's back up now. He's got a bit of turf on his nose. Don't think he's realised that, but he's won the. Well, he's not got the free kick. He's got the throw in. So Manquillo is going to take that on the Newcastle right. Gives it to Shelby, who no nonsense chucks the ball forward. Almiron gets it back from Callum Wilson, but the Paraguayan stumbles and Manquillo rather stumbles and loses possession, meaning that Spurs have got it back. 10 minutes on the clock here in North London. Tottenham have been the side doing all the pressing, but the score is still 0-0. Harry Kane with a couple of opportunities, Carl Darlow with a couple of great saves in net for Newcastle United, but the score still goalless at the moment between these two sides who've both won one and lost one. Spurs losing to Everton on the opening day of the season, where they looked pretty wretched against Carlo Ancelotti's side, where it was pretty much the opposite for Newcastle United, dominant against David Moyes' West Ham, but both sides in a different fortune for their second game. Spurs coming away with a huge win against Southampton. Harry Kane with 4 assists for Son's 4 goals, getting his goal as well. Harry Kane in that 5-2 win. Well, were you surprised by that result, the Tottenham-Southampton game? Because Tottenham, they looked good, but they didn't look unbelievable to win 5-2.
No, they didn't. I think the result, Jose Mourinho actually said, didn't he? I think the result flattered them. It was 5 wonderful goals, wonderfully well-worked goals. But there wasn't a 3-goal margin in that game. However, it would have gave them a lot of confidence, and they've gone away and won again in the Europa League. So they'll be looking to follow it up here at home now.
Yeah, definitely. Harry Kane in that game, Tottenham, since Eriksen has left, really, they've been crying out for a creative option in that midfield, and Harry Kane pretty much turned into Christian Eriksen in that game. He only made 8 successful passes in the whole game, 4 of which led to Tottenham goals, which is pretty impressive for a number 9.
Certainly is, yeah. A little bit more to his game, isn't there, Harry Kane?
Certainly. We know he likes to drop deep and attack. He pretty much hits it from anywhere when he gets an opportunity to shoot, doesn't he, Harry Kane? Which I think everyone must love if you're a Spurs fan. It's a free kick here for Newcastle. Darlow's got it in the middle of the Newcastle half. The referee just unhappy with something, not quite sure what it is, but Peter Banks has blown his whistle and Darlow's able to get the ball forward. Looking out wide for Manquillo, gets his head in there ahead of Davis. Almiron gets the second ball, but his touch lets him down once more. And Tottenham have a throw in about midway inside their half on their left hand side. Davis is the man who's been chosen in at left back today. Obviously Sergio Reguilon has made his move from Spain to the capital. He's on the bench today, so we may well get a sight of him in this game. Is it simply because he only signed a few days ago that Ben Davis is still the first choice at Spurs, do you reckon, Kev?
Yeah, I think so. He's obviously, Reguilon is highly regarded, isn't he? I can only imagine it's just a case of him settling in, getting up to speed, getting match fit, and then he will play, won't he? As simple as that.
Yeah, you spend a lot of money on a left back from Real Madrid, you think he's going to play. Here comes Spurs anyway. Lo Celso slides it in, looking for the run of Son, but it's well read by Jamal Lascelles. He gives it to Manquillo, who releases it down the right hand side for Miguel Almiron to chase, but the Tottenham defence deal with it all day as Lloris gives it to Winks, who gives it the damage to Sanchez, and the big Colombian will bring the ball forward.
It's defence versus attack at the moment, isn't it? Newcastle have clearly come here. They don't want to concede. They got a heavy beating last week. They want to ease themselves into this game. Can you defend like this for 90 minutes? Not sure you can, really.
No, well, I mean, we saw in midweek that obviously it was lower league opposition and the opposition had a man sent off, but to come from a 7-0 win to playing a defensive game, is that quite a strange thing to do? I know it's a different opposition, obviously, more compared to Tottenham, but the mindset's got to be winning, surely, for Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heavy win, wasn't it? But we all have to realise the levels of Newcastle and who they played, and now who they're playing today. Completely different kettle of fish. So yeah, I'm of the mindset of you've gone and scored 7 goals. Yes, the team's had a player sent off, but you've got to go and follow it up, and it's just completely different, isn't it, to come here and set up like this?
Yeah, 100%. Well, like you said, it is attack v defence, and it is Tottenham on the attack with Moura with the ball out wide, but Ritchie is able to get his head in and guide it out for a Spurs throw. They take it quickly. Doherty with a chance to put the ball in the box. Only Kane in there, and that's why Doherty waited to get the ball in. Son was arriving, but it's been blocked and it's behind for a corner on the far side for Tottenham.
Yeah, he just delayed it, didn't he, Matt Doherty? Got in on that right hand side. Sometimes with defenders running back towards their own goal, you just put the ball in, and whether there's attacking players in there or not, because it could hit anyone, could go anywhere. He actually waited for Harry Kane and co to get in the box there, which probably delayed it a little bit too long.
Here's the corner, left-footed. It's Lo Celso, hangs it up towards the back post. Kane goes up, he wins the header. Is there a rebound there for Sanchez? It's scrambled in the middle. Darlow went for it, dropped it, but then was able to recover, and he looks around rather quizzically to say what on earth happened there, but he's gotten away with it there, the Newcastle keeper. Yeah,
deep corner to the back post. Harry Kane just nods it down, then Darlow comes out. Davison Sanchez going in on it there. Needed 2 bites of the cherry, the keeper, but managed to get on it in the end.
Yeah, they get away with it there, Newcastle, but more solid goalkeeping from Karl Darlow. And that'll give the defence a lot of confidence to see the goalkeeper putting in such a solid performance. Here's Son going up with Lascelles. It's the Newcastle captain who wins the header and the second one. Ball up in the air at the moment. Someone needs to put the foot on it, and the man who does put the foot on it is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg for Spurs. And they have it on the halfway line once more, the side in white and navy blue. Here's Davinson Sanchez on the halfway line. All the outfield players making their way into the Newcastle half. It's chucked forward for Lo Celso. Hayden with a solid header at the back, rather, who's sitting in between Federico Fernandez and Jamal Lascelles at the back there as they drop into a back 5.
Yeah, it's extremely negative. I mean, John Joe Shelby broke up play there, and he's looking for the run of Almiron. Eric Dyer covers it because he's only got Callum Wilson to mark, the 2 centre halves, and it's easy to cover, and this game is already taken on the first 16 minutes. The pattern has been the same for the whole time.
Well, Tottenham have been knocking on the door. We haven't had an opportunity in a good 5 minutes or so, but Harry Kane's had a couple of attempts saved by Karl Darlow. Still 0-0, but Newcastle are so deep, they're just about 5 or 6 yards outside their penalty area when Tottenham have possession in their half. Here's Højbjerg, out wide is Moura. Doherty wants the rebound. Does he get it? He does. He puts it in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Hayden, and Hendry gets the second ball, but Newcastle are faffing around with it at the back now, and luckily for Matt Ritchie, he's tripped from behind by Lucas Moura. A bit of a silly foul to give away when the Newcastle man wasn't going anywhere there.
Very silly foul from Lucas Moura. He, as you say, he's going nowhere. He's facing his own goal line, if you like. Just apply pressure, don't touch him. They've given Newcastle an easy out there.
So how do you mitigate for that as a manager when there's stupid fouls like that being given away? Is it just...
Well, it's just impetuousness from the player, the individual player. I'm sure that, we can hear a lot of what's going on. There'll be his teammates saying, Lucas, you don't need to foul there, stay on your feet, but sometimes players, they just don't listen.
Yeah, well, here's Callum Wilson. Newcastle on the attack. I think he tried to slide it through for Almiron, and in the end he got caught in 2 minds of whether to have a shot or whether to make the pass, and in the end he kind of did neither, really. Rather passed it straight to Hugo Lloris. And I suppose Newcastle's first foray forward as the possession stats have just flashed up in front of me. Newcastle 19% possession, Tottenham 81, and I think you call it there, Kev, on your attack with defence.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably suit Tottenham for Newcastle to come out and have a go at them.
Maybe. Well, here come Tottenham. Well, Tottenham had an opportunity to come forward there, but Harry Kane and Son not on the same wavelength as they were at this point last weekend. But yeah, that will certainly open up. I think that's always been Tottenham's issue under Jose Mourinho, that they've been missing that creative flair to unlock that stubborn, sturdy Premier League defence.
Well, he's got Lo Celso in today. He's a very creative boy, isn't he? Good talent, wonderful left foot. So he'll be looking at him to try and open the door.
Yeah, I mean, we've got obviously 5 on the back line at the moment, and if you want to bring width into your team, it's kind of hard when you've got 5 defenders to get past. Here's Ritchie, dispossessed by Doherty on the far side. Matt Ritchie in at left back today, ahead of Jamal Lewis, who's the new signing from Norwich, of course. He started both games before today, but Matt Ritchie chosen this afternoon in for his first start of the season. Actually scored in the 3-1 loss against Spurs in July. Doesn't have the best of records against Tottenham, does Matt Ritchie, for his time at Newcastle and his time at Bournemouth. Lost 7 of the 8 games he's played against a side from North London, so I'm sure Steve Bruce wasn't thinking about him as a bit of a curse, a bit of a bad omen.
He's a good player, Matt Ritchie. I'm surprised he doesn't play more. I wouldn't say he's a left back though.
No, I was going to say, where would you put him? Because I've seen him play centre mid, I've seen him play out wide.
I'd play him higher up the pitch on either side, maybe even off the right, because he can cut in on his favoured left foot and get shots off. But he's a talented boy. I've watched him throughout his career. Good player.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, he's in at left back today. He's got some defending to do here. Is Lo Celso, clips it behind him to Doherty, but across comes John Joe Shelvey to help out the Newcastle left back today. Here's Winks, 30 yards from goal, out wide to Lucas Moura. Back to Harry Winks. Højbjerg's available to his left. He gives it to the Dane. Back to Lo Celso. Tottenham passing it around. And no great pace, but they're not misplacing any of these passes.
They've just got to be patient. Newcastle aren't coming out, are they? So they've got to keep the ball. If they need to go backwards to go forwards, then so be it. But Newcastle are just so reluctant to come out and put any pressure on the ball. It does make it difficult, whoever you're playing.
I mean, Callum Wilson, he's just now gone into the centre circle, and that gives you an idea of how far back Newcastle are defending as the ball comes all the way through to Carl Darlow after a misplaced pass from the Tottenham midfield. Still 0-0, 20 minutes gone in North London. Here's Hendrick for Newcastle, who lumps it forward for Wilson, brings it down his chest, and there could be some space here for Almiron to run into. Instead he gives it to Manquillo as Wilson goes down. Manquillo could have played there, carried on playing there, but opted instead to stop, and the referee Peter Banks blows the free kick, and this is probably going to be the first opportunity for Newcastle. I've got to come forward and get the ball in the penalty area.
Silly foul from Ben Davis, but you're absolutely right. Jeff Hendrick spun it down into the channel, off at Callum Wilson. All of a sudden they're playing. First time in 20 minutes. But it's a chance now for Newcastle, with that trusted left foot of Matt Ritchie, to put a good ball into the Tottenham area.
You know, the big boys are up from the back. Fernandez is lurking at the far post. You can also see Hayden in there. Lascelles is joining the party as well. And this is a big moment really for Steve Bruce's side. They've not had anything going forward in this game so far. What can they do from this set piece? Out on the Newcastle right, Matt Ritchie, left-footed, in swing, and it's a deep one towards Fernandez, but it's headed away by Matt Doherty. The Spurs number 2 getting in there just before the Newcastle defender could, and he guides it behind for Newcastle's first corner of the afternoon.
Well, it's a good ball, wasn't it? Deep to the back post, in swinging, lot of pace, good height. It needed defending from Doherty. As I say, good left foot Ritchie has, and they've got a corner now, Newcastle. Yeah,
and it's John Joe Shelvey who's going to take it, an in-swinger from the Newcastle midfielder. Well, he's rather pinged it in, and it's not beat the man at the front post, who's Lucas Moura, but it's given away by Ritchie, and now Tottenham can break, and it is Lucas Moura. Shelvey busting a gut to come back. He prods it forward for Kane, but it's intercepted by Federico Fernandez, who's then fouled by the Tottenham captain. And Newcastle get a free kick just outside the centre circle. Well, Jamal Lascelles seems to have a bit of an issue at the moment. He seems to be rubbing his eye. I don't know exactly what it was. Just getting the replay of it now.
Yeah, just a stray poke in the eye from Davison Sanchez. Not meant, just trying to block his run, puts his arm up. Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
Purely accidental from Davison Sanchez.
Yeah, it's good defending. You're not going to get anything as an attacking team there. It's good defending. It was a poor corner from Shelvey, wasn't it?
Yeah, disappointing. I mean, Lucas Moura at the near post, you know, you put the big boys on the big boys who can do some proper defending, and you kind of use the shorter players to just kind of fill the space, and when you can't be one of the shorter attacking players on the pitch, I think that kind of qualifies it as a poor corner for me.
Yeah, you see it so many times, don't you? I think it's inexcusable for players of this ability, especially to hit the player at the near post. As soon as you miss that area and that near post player, near post defender, you're in business, because that means the ball's going into a dangerous area. All too often it gets cut out.
Well, I mean, we saw Tottenham, didn't we, on their corners, how they were looped towards the back post, and Kane got his head on one earlier on, but that one was kind of like drilled by Shelby, which is quite odd considering, you know, he's a player who's got some technical ability, who can properly whip a ball. So it's quite strange to see Shelby do that on that occasion, and, you know, I don't think these opportunities are going to come around too regularly for Newcastle this afternoon. Here's Davis, the first choice left back for now. See how he goes for the rest of the season, but he's having a pretty solid game so far, Ben Davis. Not been called into too many defensive moments. Sanchez, 5 yards inside the Newcastle half, switches the ball out to the Tottenham left-hand side, but it's intercepted by Manquillo. Almiron now chasing Kane, who's very deep, who's supposed to be leading the line today, Harry Kane, but he's a good 40 yards from goal. He spread it out to Doherty, though, who fizzes it into Lo Celso. His touch is heavy, and that allows Hendrick to get back in, and then that definitely struck the arm of Joe Linton, who brings it away. It was outside the penalty area, but Newcastle away on the counter-attack. We'll come back to that in a minute as Shelby tries to flick it over the top for Wilson, but in the way was Matt Doherty. But was that handball for you, Kev?
I'm not sure. It hit his hand, but for sure. But
yeah, well, here's Son coming forward. He goes out wide to Harry Kane on his left foot. Can he get away from Hayden? Pulls it back across the face of goal, and there's a tap in for Lucas Moura at the far post. Harry Kane with a few step overs and then a drag cross shot allows the Brazilian Lucas Moura to tap in on the 24-minute mark. And here in North London, it's Spurs 1, Newcastle 0.
Well, as soon as you see Harry Kane get the ball in that inside left channel, you know it's going to be one of two things. He's either going to drive inside and get a shot with his right foot, or he's going to go outside and it's going to be the cross shot with his left. It was the latter. It's a wonderful ball across to the back post, and Lucas Moura can't miss. 1-0 Spurs.
Well, I mean, there was so many Newcastle shirts in that penalty area, and only 3 in white, but it's Lucas Moura, the man at the end of the queue on the far side of the pitch, who taps it in past Carl Darlow. And it's Lucas Moura who gets his first Premier League goal of the season. And one man who enjoyed that is in the stands today, Mr. Gareth Bale.
Yeah, he did. Modest applause from Gareth Bale. I'm pretty sure he could imagine himself in that little left-hand channel doing exactly the same as what Harry Kane did there. But it wasn't a shot, was it? You can see he's actually crossed that ball. He could have shot Harry Kane, but it's a wonderful ball to the back post.
Yeah, another assist for Harry Kane after getting 4 against Southampton last weekend, all for Heung-min Son. This time he's assisted the other winger, Lucas Moura, who I'm sure is looking to put in a stamp on his mark as it's played forward here for Heung-min Son. Son in the penalty area. Oh, he looked to square it to Lucas Moura. He was pretty much one-on-one with Carl Darlow, and Heung-min Son, who just scored 4 goals, opts to pass on this occasion.
What a ball that is from Harry Kane. Absolutely dissects that Newcastle back line, and he probably is too unselfish.
Here's Harry Kane with a shot from range. Darlow, brilliant save, diving to his left-hand side, but Tottenham are all over Newcastle United at the moment. Darlow keeping them in it.
Big 5 minutes this now for Newcastle. They've got to stay in this game. There's Harry Kane in his favourite position, edge of the box, looking to feed that ball inside of the right foot into the far corner. But again, Carl Darlow is having an absolute worldie, isn't he?
Brilliant. That's his 3rd or 4th save now. He's pulling them out the bag, Carl Darlow. The score is only 1-0 because of him. Newcastle really need to wake up at the moment. Another corner for Tottenham. Lo Celso holds his right hand in the air and loops it towards the back post. Darlow comes for it, and that is what defenders love to see. Solid goalkeeping as Darlow pulls it out the sky.
Yeah, any back four likes to see that. Keeper dominant, you can hear his voice. Keepers coming to get it, defenders get out of the way, and a safe pair of hands as well. But it's a big 5 minutes, like I said, for Newcastle. They could have conceded already twice since the goal. They need to stay in the game, but with this negative formation, it'll be interesting to see if Steve Bruce keeps it as it is while it's 1 and hopes to nick something off the break, or he changes tact. But at the minute, it doesn't look like they've got any attacking threat at all, does it? No, it seems to be still that back 5. Granted, Ritchie and Manquillo have started to hug the touchline, so they're playing with a little bit more width than what they were before they conceded the goal. Whether that will change anything in Newcastle's play will soon become obvious or not. But Tottenham are sitting back for the first time
in this game, which you'd expect really after going 1-0 up, right?
Yeah, I almost think that it would help Tottenham just to sit off and let Newcastle have the ball, because that way it would encourage Newcastle to throw a few more bodies forward. But then if you could break them down, you could hit them on the counter-attack, because then there won't be as many players in defensive positions as there are now, with Tottenham dominating the ball, if you get that.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we saw against Southampton, wasn't it? And then the floodgates just opened, and Son had so much space to run in behind. I'm not saying that Newcastle are going to defend like Southampton did, as Callum Wilson gets in behind the Tottenham back line here, but the flag has been raised against the former Bournemouth man.
I've never quite understood that, why that flag doesn't go up straight away. I know they have their rules and regulations, but all it does for me is, two players could run after the ball, the forward is blatantly offside, and someone could end up getting injured because the flag's not gone up and the game's not stopped earlier.
It must be so frustrating as well, because if you're running back, say, like a good 30 yards or something, to run that 30 yards and then see the flag eventually go up for an offside, which you know is absolutely offside, it's got to be a bit draining for the players as well.
It has, yeah. And like I say, I think the biggest thing is that someone could get injured. Players don't hear it, don't hear the flag.
Definitely.
Or see the flag, should I say.
Yeah, here's Højbjerg on the right hand side, spreads it to Ben Davies. Newcastle seem to be back to a back four at the moment, I think. No, back five as it was. I don't really know where Newcastle go from here. They're going to have to change something. Whether they'll do that in the first half or at half time, we'll see, as Ritchie empties from the back, and Wilson will chase that with Sanchez, but the Colombian on top once again. It's been a pretty easy afternoon so far for Sanchez and Dyer on that back line.
Well, Matt Ritchie clips that ball forward for Wilson to run after. There's not a Newcastle player within 25 yards of supporting him, and that's the problem you have. If you go from back to front that quickly, you're just not going to get people up in support.
Well, I suppose if they had the two strikers. Well, here's Harry Kane, speaking of strikers, who's brought down edge of the area. He plays on, as Son gets a shot away and it strikes the post from 25 yards. Heung-min Son, with a curling left-footed effort, strikes the bottom of Karl Darlow's right-hand post. But Spurs so close to doubling their lead here.
Well, I think if Son hadn't got that shot off, or it would have got blocked, then the game would have been pulled back for a free kick, because Harry Kane gets absolutely clattered after the ball. But Son shifts it onto his left, opens his body up. Great effort off the post. Great
strike. Heung-min Son in superb form, currently on 4-2. And only got his 5th of the season there, which I think would have made him equal top scorer in the Premier League if he'd have bagged that after Calvert-Lewin's antics down at Crystal Palace yesterday afternoon. Jonjo Shelby with a trip on Ben Davies. Ben Davies shaking his hand rather reluctantly. That's what you like to see, reluctant sportsmanship.
Well, Newcastle, they're hanging on, aren't they? That's probably the third really good attempt since the Tottenham goal, where they could have added to it, but they're just sitting back, and it's very difficult. Once you start in a way like this, it's very difficult to change during a half. They're probably going to have to wait until half time now for Steve Bruce to change things.
But would they not have walked out with like a plan B, where Steve Bruce would then say, alright lads, we're changing to this if it goes wrong in the first half?
I don't know, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, Joe Linton at the moment, for example, he's playing central midfield, and you've signed alright, he doesn't get that many goals, but you've got a £40 million striker playing centre mid. That seems quite strange and not very positive, if you ask me.
Yeah, there are 6s and 7s.
There really are. No one going to the ball at the moment, as Doherty just tries to find a pass. Eventually goes back to Harry Winks. Callum Wilson, the furthest forward for Newcastle, in the centre circle. Eric Dyer to Sanchez on the halfway line. So easy for Sanchez at the back. Nobody coming near him. Callum Wilson the closest. He's a good 15-20 yards away from him. Eric Dyer just taking 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. He's got all the time in the world to pick a pass. He gives it to Winks, he gives it to Højbjerg, he gives it back to Sanchez. When there's no pressure on these defensive midfielders or even one of the centre backs, they're going to have a walk in the park all afternoon.
Well, Harry Winks is absolutely running the show for me. He never really gets all the glory, does he? But no. He's the one who just keeps the ball moving. 2 free touches, keeps it moving. Terrific player, in my opinion.
Yeah, and here comes another terrific player, Lo Celso, man who's got the creative burden on his shoulders in that midfield today, as Wilson and Sanchez tussle. It's Sanchez who wins it again. Almiron was sniffing around for the second ball, but Paraguayan didn't have the luck that time. Maybe next time. Here's Doherty surging forward, chips the ball into the area. Lascelles heads it away. Manquillo helps it further on, but Dyer gets in ahead of Wilson, and again the ball comes back as it's chipped over the top here. For Son, Hayden comes in and has to get his head in there to put it behind for another Spurs corner. Heung-min Son was lurking there.
He certainly was. Lovely little chip ball through, wasn't it? A little bit of check on it. Had to be headed off by Hayden, but you do feel that the way this game's going, another Spurs goal, and as early as it is, you're thinking that could be that.
You really could. Newcastle, I think they've had one free kick and one corner, and that's all they've had in this game. Not a sniff for Callum Wilson as of yet. But here's Heung-min Son's corner for Spurs. He loops it in towards the back post. Free header. Oh, and Eric Dyer should have done so much better. He slaps the ground in frustration, but Eric Dyer up from the back with a free header misses the target.
What about the marking? I mean, he is 7 yards out. There is no one near him. The Newcastle players get caught under the ball, and it's almost hit him in the eye.
There's 4 defenders around Harry Kane and Davinson Sanchez. Why are they not talking? What is it? Just communication that's letting them down there?
Communication, not being organised. I mean, it didn't look like it was zonal marking, so they've obviously got a player each. You know who you're marking before you go out onto that pitch. So if Eric Dyer scores, whoever was meant to be near him, well, unbelievable. Yeah, well, Newcastle stretched a bit here with Heung-min Son running at Isaac Hayden. He wants to get onto his right foot. He's still got it on his left. Newcastle getting players back. It's loose in the penalty area. An overhead volley from Lo Celso from the penalty spot, but he rather caught it with the end of his toe and it went looping over the top of Carl Darlow's crossbar. Another chance, but again, it's once Newcastle half come out. They throw a few numbers forward, and that's what Tottenham want, in my opinion. Let them come onto you, because it will create more space if you can break them down and hit them on the counter-attack. Definitely. Well, Newcastle rather reluctant to come out at the moment. 34 minutes on the clock here in North London. It is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 0. Lucas Moura's goal in the 24th minute separating the two sides at the moment. Another assist for Harry Kane. We're just seeing shots of Jamal Lewis warming up on the near side, who's on the bench today. Started the previous 2 games in the Premier League, but Matt Ritchie's the man in at left back today, and he's the guy who's got the ball in his hands for this Newcastle throw-in on the halfway line. Here's Fernandes, looks forward, looks up, goes long, looking for the run of Almiron. Dyer with a big shout to get in there ahead of Sanchez. Here's Ritchie, can he run forward down that left hand side? He's got pressure from 3 white shirts. Højbjerg the closest to him. Almiron back to Joe Linton, who's currently in a left wing position. Callum Wilson the only man ahead of Almiron at the moment. Here's Hendrick, who gets scythed down by Lucas Moura. Just a bit too much enthusiasm there from the former PSG man. Yeah, another needless foul, because knowing Newcastle and the way they play, this will be going into Tottenham's box again. Certainly will. It's been a long time since Newcastle United made an opportunity in this game. And even that wasn't even a proper opportunity. That was just a ball into the box. But this one will favour Matt Ritchie on that left hand side, an in-swinger. Everybody's up. Tottenham playing quite a high line here. Good 7-8 yards outside the penalty areas. Ritchie loops it in towards the back post. There's 3 players in black there. Fernandes gets his head in it, heads it away as Almiron gets his volley in, but it's blocked by Harry Winks. Solid defending that from the Tottenham midfielder. Here's Lascelles. Good play from the Newcastle captain. He puts it into the box, looking for Wilson. Volleyed away by Dyer. Still not properly out though. Hendrick. This is better from Newcastle. Best period of the game for them. Yeah, here's Almiron. Swings it into the penalty area. It's headed away solidly by Sanchez all the way into the Newcastle half, and that will allow Tottenham to regain their shape after that free kick, and Newcastle will have to try and break them down once more. Ritchie plays it forwards. Joe Linton on the left hand side. Hendrick goes backwards. I think it's just a mindset thing as well for Newcastle at the moment. They set up to defend, and Hendrick, Shelvey and Hayden really would be their midfield 3. They're not particularly attacking, really. No, they're not. Absolutely none of them really. There's a few options for Newcastle as we see Joe Linton drop deep. He's done well though to skip away from Højbjerg. And here comes the Brazilian, ignores Ritchie, runs into a bit of a dead end, but he's still going. Joe Linton bundles his way through. Sanchez comes over and steps in, and Sanchez once again, he's been absolutely dominant at the back. Yeah. Bit of positivity from Joe Linton. Tottenham players reluctant to tackle though. They really were. He's not, well, in my mind, he's not really a player who drifts past players, Joe Linton, but he certainly showed he had a little bit of that Brazilian flair there.
Here's Ritchie looking for an early ball into the penalty area for Callum Wilson. Dyer comes back and he had to be on his toes there, Eric Dyer. Still not away. Almiron has it. Out wide's Manquillo. 25 yards from touch. Almiron looking forward. Cuts inside from Winks. Plays it across and gives it away to Lucas Moura. And the counter charges away here. Kane gets it via a deflection from Federico Fernandez. Moura steaming forward. He plays it into the Brazilian. Edge of the penalty area. Moura pulls it back. But it was a yard or so behind Harry Kane. And Newcastle come away and they try and start a counter-attack now. End-to-end stuff all of a sudden here in North London as Wilson plays it in behind for Manquillo, but it is read by Ben Davis. And Tottenham get possession back. Well, they're getting what you thought they'd like, Kev.
Yeah.
There's
very
space to run into. And here's Lo Celso once more. Pulls it to Harry Kane, but Hendrick comes across. Kane pops his toe in there to win it back, but it ricochets to Lo Celso. Looks for movement. Kane in the penalty area, skips away from Hendrick, gets his shot away, but Harry Kane shanks it off the outside of his weaker left foot. It's not really a weak foot, boy. He'll be disappointed with that finish.
Yeah, for once, I think the wrong decision from Harry Kane. Good play, Lo Celso. Look at that, 2-yard ball. Harry Kane, kids on, he's going to pass it inside. It's an acute angle, isn't it? I think he should reverse that back to Son, who was standing in acres. Instead, he blazes it high wide and not very handsome.
Yeah, Son on the penalty spot, just waiting for it there. But do you think that's maybe a little bit of frustration from Harry Kane, considering he's had opportunities to score in this game?
Yeah, I mean, if the game continues the way it's going, he's going to get more opportunities, isn't he? I think that's glaringly obvious. But yeah. Newcastle coming out a little bit now, which is making for a better spectacle.
Definitely are. They're playing a lot higher up at the moment. Lascelles a lot closer to the halfway line than his own penalty area, as we've seen in the previous 38 minutes of this game. 39 and a half gone at the moment. Still 1-0 to Spurs. Lucas Moura, the man whose goal separates the two sides, but Newcastle aren't going to help themselves when they're misplacing passes like that. Throw in for Spurs on their left hand side. And Davis looking for an option down the left hand side, throws it inside to Son. He's done well today. Harry Kane in a deep position, spreads the play out to Doherty. What a ball that is.
Fantastic pass, wasn't it?
Here's Doherty inside to Lascelles, so he's got the run of Son in behind. Can he find him? No. Yeah, he's found him now. Got through the legs of Lascelles. Moura, there's 3 white shirts in the penalty area if he can find one. Lucas Moura, instead he goes backwards. Wasn't expecting that to Højbjerg, and now it's gone all the way back to Davinson Sanchez in the centre circle. Opportunity to put it in to the penalty area there, Doherty, but opted not for it.
Yeah, refused it, didn't he? At the end, Tottenham trying to suck Newcastle out, but they seem very reluctant to come up the pitch. Only probably 10 yards outside their own penalty area at the moment.
Yeah, well, Tottenham don't really have to force it. They've got the lead, they've got the possession, they've got the shots on target. It's all going the way of Jose Mourinho's Spurs at the moment. Here's Winks in the centre circle. Lo Celso. Eric Dyer playing the left side of the 2 centre-backs today. 2 ball-playing defenders. And Jose starting 11. That's what you like to see. Here's Lo Celso outside the left boot. Brilliant ball into Doherty. And now Son, edge of the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? Can. It's a looping effort onto the crossbar from Heung-min Son. Still alive in the middle. Lascelles volleys up into the air, but Son from the edge of the penalty area, rattling the woodwork here in North London.
Well, woodwork coming to Newcastle's rescue yet again. And again it's Son. Twice now. Once the post. And that one again gets it out his feet onto his left foot. Curling effort, dipping effort. And it cannons off that Newcastle crossbar with Darlow well beaten.
Brilliant effort with a weak foot there from Son. But here they come once more. Lo Celso 20 yards from goal. He's got runners outside. It's Davis. Pulls it back into the penalty area. Kane was arriving, but just a little bit too far ahead of the England captain this time from Ben Davis.
Well, Tottenham are dominating, aren't they? They've dominated this opening 42 minutes. Brilliant again. Chip ball. Flicked across Doherty. This is the effort. Look at that. Benzar, Darlow beaten. Cannons back off the bar. And then the second one. Lovely ball from Lo Celso. Davis helps it into the box. And Harry Kane flings himself at the ball and just misses it.
Hard to believe that Kane and Son haven't scored in this half. They've had about 6 or 7 opportunities between the two of them. You feel if it continues this way, at least one of them is probably going to get a goal. 3 minutes to go in this half at normal time. Here's Ritchie. Newcastle got an opportunity before the half-time whistle. Yet to register a shot, I think, Newcastle United.
It's been total dominance, hasn't it, from the home team. And like you say, if the game continues in this vein, then either or both of them will end up scoring a goal. Kane and Son, they've been electric this first half, very bright.
They really have, and here is Son once more. Lo Celso, right-footed to Højbjerg, the summer signing from Southampton. He's looked pretty solid in midfield today. Tottenham get a free kick, which Jonjo Shelvey can't believe has been given, and he's got a yellow card for his trouble there.
I think he's just got the wrong side, Jonjo Shelvey. The ball didn't quite have enough pace to get to Lo Celso. He's come through the side of him.
I think he's tried to pinch it before it's got to Lo Celso, hasn't he? And
yeah, it looks like he's got the ball, but he's actually had to go through Lo Celso to get to it. So I think rightfully a yellow card for Jonjo Shelvey. He's still shaking his head, but he has gone through Lo Celso.
He isn't a combative midfielder, I suppose you could say, Jonjo Shelvey. He's in the book today. The first,
he certainly is that.
The first yellow card of the game goes to Newcastle's number 8. Here's Tottenham's number 18. Lo Celso puts it through the legs of Shelvey. Lo Celso has got to be careful here. He is. He's managed to find Manquillo actually, and maybe Newcastle can come out here, but they're not breaking at any particular pace.
So again, he looked up, didn't he?
Yeah,
Almiron.
Saw no one there. Ritchie screaming for it. Hendrick, every time Hendrick gets the ball so far from it, he's looking backwards, which just really says it all about Newcastle in this game.
Callum Wilson has made so many runs, and Newcastle players have more often than not just turned down the opportunity to put it in behind Spurs, or it's been cut out. There's no real pattern to what they're trying to do. Yes, they're sitting in, but then when they go forward, they're not committing any numbers. Wilson is isolated.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to get worse for Newcastle, because their big centre-half and captain, Jamal Lascelles, is currently down. I think it's a bit of a knee issue for the big number 6. Not exactly sure what it was.
He's got some issue, hasn't he? Let's have a little look.
Coming together with Giovanni Lo Celso, but I'm not quite sure what it is from that first angle.
Could be a muscle injury, the way he went down.
Could well be, or maybe it's his ankle actually. I think he got clattered by the man in the middle there for Spurs. Well, we're into the final minute. We're just waiting the additional time board to be raised. There it is, 2 minutes added on. We'll probably see a little bit more than that because of the man who's down at the moment. But like you say, dominant half from Spurs, and I think Jose Mourinho will be happy with pretty much everything, apart from the fact that they haven't got more than one goal.
Yeah, absolutely. These teams probably 3 goals better at least than Newcastle at the moment. They've hit the woodwork twice. Darlow's made a couple of fantastic saves as well. So that will be a concern, that Newcastle will get better, I would imagine.
And there's not been much for their fans to scream about today, but we're just getting the replay of the goal which separates the two sides. Harry Kane on his left foot, dragging it down that, I hate to say that cliche, the corridor of uncertainty, and there was Lucas Moura to tap it in at the far post.
It's a terrific ball, it really is. You've got defenders that are running backwards, they can't touch it, but the way it skids it across that 6-yard box, fabulous pass.
Brilliant, intelligent play from Harry Kane, who's on only 1 goal in 2.5 games so far, but I think he'll probably get another opportunity in the second half. It seems as if Lascelles is okay, just waiting to come back on as Newcastle play the ball forward towards the far corner, and Almiron's going to get there. He plays it against Doherty and wins a corner out of pretty much nothing. Well played there, Almiron.
Yeah, it's clever. It's clever from Almiron. He knows it. Once he gets there, he's not going to. The ball's bouncing. He ain't going to be able to hold it up. So he just smashed it at Doherty, and fortunately for Newcastle, right on half time, they got a chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, well, they might as well chuck everybody forward. Lascelles back just in time to run up to the opposition penalty area. A lot of big players in this Newcastle side. Can they get an equaliser before half time? Ritchie's corner, hangs it up. Fernandes goes up. Will it break for Joe Linton? No, it's grabbed away by Moura. Still alive with Almiron. Back out wide to Ritchie. He recycles it towards the back post where Shelvey volleys it. Oh, a brilliant strike from Jonjo Shelvey. Wonderful technique, but it just dipped and curled away from goal and ended up going a foot or two wide of Hugo Lloris's right hand post.
Yeah, lovely ball in. Matt Ritchie to the back post, works his body well, doesn't he, Shelvey, to get himself in position so he can get a volley on it, and he's just cut across it. He knows what he's trying to do. I think if it had been on target, Harry Kane was actually standing on that far post and probably would have cleared it off the line.
Yeah, an opportunity at last for Newcastle United. It only took 47.5 minutes of the first half for it to come. Opportunity's been few and far between, but John Joe Shelvey was actually the top scorer for Newcastle last season, only, would you believe, with 6 goals. Is that where you think their issues will come once again this season, Kev?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, John Joe Shelvey plays that deep line midfield role. Yeah. Got good technique, but they've not really got anybody, have they, to open it up for Callum Wilson. Creative.
They really haven't. Well, we may well see a change in the second half for that as the whistle blows here in North London on Premier League Live. The score at half-time is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 0. Tottenham absolutely dominant. Kane's had a couple of opportunities. Son's hit the woodwork twice. Darlow pulling saves left, right and centre. Newcastle with only the one opportunity coming right at the end of the first half. And this is exactly how it happens. Here's Son coming forward. He goes out wide to Harry Kane on his left foot. Can he get away from Hayden? Pulls it back across the face of goal. And there's a tap in for Lucas Moura at the far post. Harry Kane with a few step overs and then a drag cross shot allows the Brazilian Lucas Moura to tap in on the 24-minute mark. And here in North London, it's Spurs 1, Newcastle 0.
Well, as soon as you see Harry Kane get the ball in that inside left channel, you know it's going to be one of two things. He's either going to drive inside and get a shot with his right foot, or he's going to go outside and it's going to be the cross shot with his left. It was the latter. It's a wonderful ball across to the back post, and Lucas Moura can't miss. 1-0 Spurs.
And now Son, edge of the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? Can it's a looping effort onto the crossbar from Heung-min Son. Still alive in the middle. Lascelles volleys up into the air, but Son from the edge of the penalty area rattling the woodwork here in North London.
Woodwork coming to Newcastle's rescue yet again. And again it's Son. Twice now. Once the post. And that one again gets it at his feet onto his left foot, curling effort, dipping effort, and it cannons off that Newcastle crossbar with Darlow well beaten.
Well, that's how the first half went. Analysis and chat about that first 45 on the way in just a second on Premier League Live.
Your Sportsmat Sunday with TalkSport's latest super signing, Johnny Owen. Join critically acclaimed filmmaker and actor Johnny Owen for a brand new show dedicated to the culture of football. From retro terrace fashion,
great red card, oh dear,
yeah, and classic fan anthems.
What a hit!
To iconic films and game-changing books.
It's a thunderous belter!
Join Johnny Owen and co-host Mark Webster for a celebration of the cultural power of the beautiful game.
That could be the winner!
The unbeatable new weekend lineup just got better. Johnny Owen and Friends.
Big moment.
This morning from 9 on TalkSport.
Inject some high-octane, explosive entertainment into the post-apocalyptic wasteland that is your average Sunday. The warm-up with Mad Max Rushton on TalkSport.
Actually, I'm not mad, just a bit tired.
He's the rebel weekend warrior, chained to the wheel of a souped-up juggernaut of sporting confrontation.
Actually, it's just a normal city car, 1.6 automatic.
2 hours of fuel-injected football fury that never runs out of gas, guts, or glory.
Guys.
Wheels spinning through the blasted badlands of your weekend like a demonic convoy from hell.
He clearly hasn't heard the show, has he?
The warm-up belongs to the Mad Max Rushton, this Sunday morning from 11 on TalkSport.
You've seen him on the telly. You've heard him on the
Is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle United. Half time, the score is 1-0 to the home side in a half that Spurs have absolutely dominated. 68% of possession going the way of Jose Mourinho's side. I mean, you said it in commentary, didn't you, Kev? It was just attack versus defence.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure what Newcastle are trying to do other than keep the score down, because the way they've set up with a 4-5-1, when you break Spurs down, you need to play through the pitch, because one ball is not going to get you in. The amount of runs Callum Wilson's made, you don't have anyone prepared to run past him from the middle of the pitch. Like you said, they're all very similar, Shelvey, Hayden and Hendrick, and I don't really see how they're going to get back into this game other than from a set piece.
Well, I mean, there's no width, there's no player playing off Callum Wilson. Is it going to be a change in shape, a change in personnel? What do they do in this second 45?
I think that personally, I mean, I don't know Steve Bruce, but I think personally, while it's only one, he'll keep it the same and see if he can just manage to nick something on the counter-attack. Tottenham have had 354 passes completed compared to the 156 in Newcastle. That just shows the level of dominance the home team have at the moment.
Yeah, they have been absolutely dominant. Spurs all over Newcastle United, and let's be honest, this could probably been 4 or 5-0 at half time. The amount of opportunities, Kane with a couple of testing efforts against Karl Darlow, which he was equal to. Son hitting the post and the crossbar. Do you feel like it's only a matter of time until either Son or Kane get their name on the score sheet?
Well, the way the game's going at the moment, yes, but we've seen many games like this over the years, and I've been involved in many games where you have such a level of dominance, but it only remains one, and then all of a sudden, from nowhere, the other team will get a chance and get a goal. And you do get a chance. It doesn't matter how much dominance Tottenham have had or how dominant they are. Newcastle will get a chance. It's whether they take it or not, and whether or not Tottenham go on to add to what they've got already.
Yeah, well, let's go through that goal. So it was Lucas Moura, the man who midway inside the first half got the opening goal. It was brilliant football from Spurs, and Harry Kane putting it on a plate for him, really.
Yeah, he gets into that little inside left position, doesn't he, on the edge of the box. It was a little bit too packed for him to go in on his favoured right foot. How many times you see him come inside and bend that right foot shot towards the far corner. So what he's done, a little step over, goes past the defender. It's a cross shot, goes through the legs of the defender, but it's a wonderful cross. And I mean, Moore's only got to just get anything on the end of it, and it's going to end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, well, if you're Jose Mourinho, I mean, obviously they've been completely dominant, but you'd be expecting Newcastle to make a few changes. So do you change it if you're Jose Mourinho, even though it's worked to perfection pretty much in that first 45?
No, not at the moment. I think, as odd as it may sound, I think at the moment both managers will say, as you were. Like I say, while it's only one, Steve Bruce will be reluctant to change things because it is only one. And while Tottenham are dominating like they are, then Jose Mourinho will be reluctant to change it. I think an early goal for Spurs in this second half, and that'll be the game.
Yeah, well, on a Premier League Live, there is more football. Straight after this game, we go to the northwest. Manchester City versus Leicester City. Toby Gillis and Kit Simons will be your man in the commentary box, and we've actually got a little clip here of what we can expect from Brendan Rodgers' Leicester City.
We only need 11 first of all to start, and then you can only use 3 subs now. So, but I think all his team of the players he has available and the young players he'll have they'll all have enough motivation and quality to want to get a result. So yeah, I think all the teams, you're still searching for your level of fitness. Having only had a few games, and like ourselves, we have a number of injuries to important players. However, you're working with the players that you have, and you're always then going out looking to get a good performance and good result.
Well, a 100% record for both these sides so far in the Premier League. City obviously played one game less, having started a week later, but both sides in good form. Is this still going to be a difficult trip for Leicester up to Manchester City?
I think any team at any point that goes to Manchester City is in for a tough game. You never go to Manchester to City and have it easy, do you? And as good a team as Leicester are, and they do carry a real goal threat still with Jamie Vardy, obviously. I just think that, and I know this will divide opinion, there's a lot in the Liverpool camp, and there's a couple talking about Chelsea being up there. I think if you finish above Manchester City this season, then you'll win the league.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point. I mean, it seems as if Aguero's going to be out for a while. I think Jesus may even be out this afternoon. What do Man City have going forward other than those two in like the classic number 9 position? What
they may have to change. Sterling gets his goals, doesn't he? You've got De Bruyne. They've just got an abundance of talent. Foden can get a goal. He's doing extremely well in my dream team, let me add. So, I mean, whatever team Pep Guardiola puts out, sometimes he plays without forwards, doesn't he, when he's not got any available? But they still manage, because of the way they play and the way they pass their way up the pitch, if you like. They've always got players in and around the ball and in attacking areas that, for me, they're a joy to watch.
Brilliant. Well, that will be straight after us is a 4:30 kickoff GMT. Toby and Kit will be covering that for us at TalkSport Live. Well, the second half is coming up very shortly here with us in North London. The score at half-time here between Tottenham and Newcastle is Spurs 1, Newcastle United 0, and this is Premier League Live.
Your Sportsmat Sunday with TalkSport's latest super signing, Johnny Owen. Join critically acclaimed filmmaker and actor Johnny Owen for a brand new show dedicated to the culture of football. From retro terrace fashion,
Great red card. Oh dear. Yeah.
and classic fan anthems,
What a hit!
to iconic films and game-changing books.
It's a thunderous belter!
Join Johnny Owen and co-host Mark Webster for a celebration of the cultural power of the beautiful game.
That could be the winner!
The unbeatable new weekend lineup just got better. Johnny Owen and Friends.
Big moment!
This morning from 9 on TalkSport.
Inject some high-octane, explosive entertainment into the post-apocalyptic wasteland that is your average Sunday. The warm-up with Mad Max Rushton on TalkSport.
Actually, I'm not mad, just a bit tired.
He's the rebel weekend warrior, chained to the wheel of a souped-up juggernaut of sporting confrontation.
Actually, it's just a normal city car, 1.6 automatic.
2 hours of fuel-injected football fury that never runs out of gas, guts, or glory.
Guys,
Wheel spinning through the blasted badlands of your weekend like a demonic convoy from hell.
he clearly hasn't heard the show, has he?
The warm-up belongs to the Mad Max Rushton, this Sunday morning from 11 on TalkSport.
You've seen him on the telly. You've heard him on the air. His job to rustle sports news for listeners here and there.
Against Newcastle United from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your commentator Richard Wolfenden, and joining me for this second half, as he was in the first 45, is the former Redden and Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson. Well, looking like an early change here for Spurs, Kev.
Yeah, they are making a change.
Stephen Bergwijn coming on. Well, I was asking you, wasn't I, at half-time, whether they make any changes or not, and Jose seemingly has decided to do so. I mean, we're not seeing who's coming off yet.
No, we're not sure. You can only imagine someone has got a knock. I actually thought it would be as you were, keep dominating the ball, keep creating chances. Bergwijn most certainly coming on. I would say there's got to be someone that is carrying a little bit of a knock.
Yeah, I think it's Son. Yeah, there you go. Heung-min Son is the man who's made way for Steven Bergwijn. The Dutchman joined from PSV earlier on this year, and he'll be looking for his first goal of the season. 3 titles during his time at PSV in the Netherlands, so he's a serial winner and hopefully can bring some success this afternoon.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a very good player. I'm just wondering why Son's gone off. It can only be an injury.
It must be really, because he hit the woodwork twice. It looked absolutely brilliant.
Unless Jose's not happy that he didn't get a hat-trick of woodwork hits in the first half when he should have.
Or maybe he had Son in his fantasy team. Do Premier League managers play fantasy football? I don't know. As Tottenham coming forward, is Bergwijn running after that. He's given it to Moura. Not much support for Lucas Moura down the Tottenham right. Here is Bergwijn. Moura inside to Bergwijn. Quick 1-2 between the two pacey forwards of Tottenham Hotspur. Shoved forward for Harry Kane by Højbjerg. Will he get it? He will get it. He gets his shot away, but he completely shanks it, Harry Kane. I was expecting the flag to go up there, but it seems as if he was onside. An early opportunity in the first 30 seconds for Harry Kane there.
Harry Kane will think that's a chance. He goes back. It's a lovely little ball, isn't it? Oh, it gets deflected, puts him in. And even though he's on the turn, on the half volley, he gets deflected off of Jeff Hendrick. I think Harry Kane would expect to turn and hit the target there.
Yeah, frustration in the body language of Harry Kane. Anyway, I'll run you through the two sides' 11s. Tottenham have Hugo Lloris in goal with a back four of Matt Doherty, Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez and Ben Davies, with Harry Winks, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Giovanni Lo Celso in the middle, with Lucas Moura, Harry Kane and the introduced Steven Bergwijn at half-time. And Newcastle, who've got a bit of defending to do here with Jamal Lascelles, guides it back to his goalkeeper Darlow with no issue. They start with Darlow in goal, Manquillo, Lascelles, Fernandes and Ritchie across the back. Hayden also dropping into that defence occasionally to make it a back 5, as he was in the first half, with the midfield of Hendrick, Shelvey, Almiron and Joe Linton and Wilson as the attacking options, although we didn't really see much attacking from Joe Linton in that first 45.
No, we didn't. I weren't sure where he was meant to be playing. 1 minute he was out on the left, then he was in the central midfield like you said, Rich, then he was up front. Yeah, just unless he was really unsure of the role he was meant to be playing.
Yeah, well, he's gone forward here at the back post as Newcastle have an opportunity to put the ball forward. They've got to make the most of these set pieces. Ritchie hangs it up looking for Joe Linton. It's Lascelles who flicks it on, but flicks it into the feet of Højbjerg. Joe Linton run into a bit of a cul-de-sac. He needs support, so the support is behind him in the form of Isaac Hayden. And now Ritchie. Hayden on the halfway line. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Carl Darlow, but Newcastle not keen to get players back. They're keeping them forward. Joe Linton gets in there ahead of Doherty, but the second ball is won by Sanchez, who, in true no-nonsense style, thumps it away, and there's a mistake at the back from Lascelles, and Lo Celso is going to chase that and keep it in. Harry Kane's waiting in the penalty area. Moore is arriving. Lo Celso puts it in, but he doesn't beat Federico Fernandes. Disappointing cross.
It was, wasn't it?
It really was. Didn't beat the first centre-back. Celso has it back, though, down this right-hand channel, playing it into Doherty, who does well to get there. He puts it through the legs of Fernandes, but it takes a clip off his heel and rolls behind for Spurs' first corner of the second half. 48 minutes gone on Premier League Live. It's still Spurs 1, Newcastle United 0.
Yeah, early corner for Spurs. Started his second half. Lascelles, shank clearance. Put Lo Celso in, didn't he? Should have gone with it with his left. Went with his right. Put Tottenham in the ascendancy again.
Certainly are. Picking up where they left off at the end of the first half. And they've won a few headers off these corners. Tottenham in the first 45. Can they get one here? Lo Celso's corner towards the penalty spot. Out comes Darlow. He screamed for it. Didn't get it, though. I think maybe he did get it. He did get it. It's another corner for Newcastle United. I thought Davinson Sanchez has just headed it straight out for a goal kick, but it was the man in pink for Newcastle United who got rid. Another corner for Giovanni Lo Celso to take the Argentine standing over it. Left-footed, in swinging a bit deeper this time. There's the header at the near post. It's Lucas Moura who got a full forehead on it, but it was straight at Carl Darlow, who was rather delighted to see that just drop into his midriff.
Yeah, just gets across the front, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Head up, but unfortunately doesn't get enough purchase on it. Good save, but a comfortable save.
Not really the man who you'd expect Lo Celso to be trying to find on those corners. Lucas Moura marked by Callum Wilson. Here's Hendrick on the halfway line, forced backwards to Hayden. Now Lascelles. Now Federico Fernandez under pressure. Here is Winks bringing the ball forward. He squares it out wide to Højbjerg, who gets his shot away. Blocked in the middle, still alive with Lo Celso. Can he get his shot away? Does he? Toe pokes it at goal, and Darlow makes the easy save as it rolls into his feet. But Lo Celso not really very convincing with that strike.
No, he wasn't. Good break again from Spurs. Ambitious ball, wasn't it, from Fernandez, that got cut out and put Tottenham on the attack.
Yeah, and here's a chance for Newcastle to come on the attack. Joe Linton skipping inside, almost playing as a number 10 at the moment. Joe Linton. Here's Javier Manquillo, the right back, progressed forward, gives it to Miguel Almiron. Into the box from Manquillo. It's headed on by Højbjerg. It might fall here, but Matt Ritchie, left side of the penalty area, gets his shot away. Strikes Matt Doherty. Now, he had his hands behind his back, but the VAR will check that. We've seen some contentious penalty decisions given this weekend. I think that will be very harsh.
Yeah, never a penalty. Never a penalty.
Well, you can see Doherty deliberately put his arms behind his back to avoid anything like that, and VAR agrees with the referee. Here come Newcastle, though. Shelvey into the mixer and away by Eric Dyer. Lascelles still has it. 45 yards from goal. Pings it out to the right where Almiron brings it down. Left-footed. Good touch from the Paraguayan. Here's Manquillo. He's got Shelvey screaming for it. Edge of the penalty area. He doesn't get it, though. Here's Almiron. Shelvey's ran off now after he tried to find him. And Newcastle go all the way back to Isaac Hayden, Jamal Lascelles. Well, it's Tottenham who are doing a bit of defending here. Not to do too much of it in the game today. Here's Shelvey, plays a quick 1-2 with Javier Manquillo. Will he get there ahead of Eric Dyer? No, he won't. Dyer boots it into the stands. And Tottenham doing their first real stint of defending in the game.
Yeah, finally, a little bit of ambition from the away side. A little bit of possession, a little bit more attacking intent.
And here comes the ball in from Shelvey. It's a decent one. It's headed up into the air by Højbjerg. He's got Wilson lurking around him, and it's a bit of a breakdown in communication as Shelvey gets to edge of the penalty area, trying to trick his way around Højbjerg. He's still got it here, Shelvey. It's very loose as it's chucked to the back post where Ritchie tussles with Doherty. I think it was Ritchie who won the header, but it's headed away, and now away comes Lucas Moura. Joe Linton tracking back Lucas Moura, and one Brazilian on another, and it's Joe Linton who fouls Lucas Moura on the halfway line and gets a yellow card for his troubles.
That was only going to end up in one outcome there. Joe Linton was never going to catch Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura, in fact, knew who was chasing him, and he's taken him on a run up the right hand side, and he's just been bundled over. Rightfully a yellow card.
A proper striker's tackle, I suppose you could call that.
Yeah, certainly was.
Yeah, and that's not where Joe Linton's playing today. Seems to be playing just behind Callum Wilson. Well, I say just behind. They don't really seem to have much shape going forward, Newcastle United. It's kind of difficult to tell what formation they're playing.
I think he's meant to be playing off the left hand side, but
well, there's a foul here, was it? No, it's not. It's just going to be a throw-in. A real strong hit on Lucas Moura. He's got back to his feet. Yeah, solid tackle, Federico Fernandez.
Trailing leg got him, didn't it?
Yeah, Lucas Moura did well not to get studs on his leg there, as there's a foul this time on Federico Fernandez. Lo Celso diving in on his compatriot, both from Argentina. Lo Celso just walking away, and Fernandez being told to get back up to his feet and to toughen up. He'll be okay.
I think you're absolutely right. Yes, he's kicked his boot. It doesn't warrant again rolling around on the floor in agony or making out you're in agony like that.
Yeah, here's Almiron. He skipped away from Eric Dyer, who's done brilliantly well to recover. Sanchez in with Wilson, and it's broke here for Manquillo. 20 yards from the corner flag. He's getting closer to it though as Bergwijn tracks him and kicks it out for a throw-in right by the corner flag.
Certainly a better start to the second half for Newcastle than they had in the whole first half, in my opinion. Showing a little bit more attacking threat, a little bit more willingness to throw some bodies forward.
Yeah, a little bit of bite in their play as well, which is certainly what they were lacking in that first half. Manquillo pretty much playing as a right winger as well at the moment down that Newcastle right hand side. He's the man with the ball in his hands, waiting for this throw-in. Manquillo, he's kind of let go of it in the air there, slipped out of his hands, didn't go as far as he wanted, but still in possession of Newcastle. Dyer gets rid. Kane in a tussle with Lascelles. Here's Joe Linton. Good hold of play from him. He goes out wide to Almiron, who's running at Ben Davis. The Welshman doing well to slow him down. Joe Linton. Almiron again. Joe Linton. Tidy football this from Newcastle on the far side. Good interplay this as Hayden comes forward and is tackled by Harry Winks, and it'll be a corner. Harry Winks thought it was going to be a goal kick, and he's saying that Harry Winks got the final touch on that. It's quite handy having an empty stadium when you're able to hear what the players are saying.
I think that is a corner. Let's have a little look now. He goes down the side. Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, came off Hayden last. His left foot dangling between the two legs of Harry Winks, and yeah, the officials got that one wrong. So Newcastle get anything from this? I'm sure Jose will have something to say. Left-footed corner from Matt Ritchie towards the back post. It's over absolutely everyone. Joe Linton will hunt it down towards the opposite corner flag, and he'll skip away from two Spurs players. Joe Linton gets a shot in towards the back post. Oh, and there was nobody there in black and purple arriving. Well, Joe Linton put in a kind of cross shot towards that far post at head height, and nobody in Newcastle colours attacked it.
Well, he's done brilliant there, hasn't he? Two Tottenham defenders come out and he just turns and runs between the pair of them, between Doherty and Winks, and then puts in a lovely ball. It's inviting anyone to get in on that back post and just tap it home. It's a wonderful bit of play from Joe Linton.
Yeah, solid stuff from Joe Linton. Chosen over Andy Carroll today. I think Carroll offers a little bit less manoeuvrability, should we say, than Joe Linton.
It was good play, wasn't it, from the centre forward or the left midfielder, whatever he's playing today.
Yeah, might well see him at centre back later on in the game, who knows.
Possibly.
As Harry Winks, he plays it out wide to Davinson Sanchez into Højbjerg, who wasn't quite on his toes when he received that pass, but pulls it in nonetheless. Here's Doherty, spins the ball over the top of that Newcastle defence for Bergwijn, who stumbles over Isaac Hayden. No intent from the Newcastle man.
It's much better from Newcastle. It's opening 11 minutes.
They just do seem to be missing that really tricky player. Obviously they've got Almiron, but I mean, you look at, say, Everton this season, who've signed James Rodriguez, and he's made such a difference to their attacking creative play.
Yeah,
it feels like Newcastle just need that extra bit of flair, really.
Yeah, well, they're missing Saint Maximum as well, aren't they? Who's obviously injured. Went off injured last week.
Yeah, that will be the worry for Steve Bruce. If you look at the Newcastle United bench, they haven't really got many attacking options. They've got Andy Carroll on the bench and Jacob Murphy, the only real attacking players who they could bring on. Jamal Lewis is an attacking left back, but I think that's exactly what Matt Ritchie offers, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hard half an hour or so to go in this game. On Premier League Live, 57 minutes gone. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 0. Lucas Moura's goal in the first half, the goal that separates these two sides so far. Still plenty of football to play, though. Here's Doherty inside to Højbjerg, into Bergwijn, whose touch ricochets onto Almiron's arm. Claims of handball not heeded by the referee. I think it was accidental. Here's Almiron under pressure from Winks.
You can see that handball, man.
You can hear the players shouting for the handball. Not given on this occasion. Javier Manquillo doing a lot more running up that right wing than he was in the first half. Well, we were saying, was it going to be a big man who's come on to partner Wilson, or will it be a bit more width? And it seems to be the latter, as Lloris gets a rare touch of the ball, passes it out to Davinson Sanchez. I forgot that Hugo Lloris was playing. I've hardly mentioned his name.
I'm not sure he's touched the ball with his hands.
I don't think he has. Here come Spurs coming forward. Newcastle more obviously playing with a higher line in this second half, which encourages the Newcastle wingers to get forward, the fullbacks to get forward, I should say. Here's Lo Celso looking for an option, but can't break down that bank of four and then that bank of five. Sanchez, poor pass, under pressure from Callum Wilson though, and that's what players up front who put in a lot of energy and a lot of endeavour get rewarded with, get possession back for putting in a good bit of graft.
The one thing that Son does give them when he's on the pitch is that willingness to run behind and stretch opposition back lines. With him going off, Bergwijn occasionally will make that run, Moura occasionally, but Son more often than not just wants to run, doesn't he?
As the ball comes into the penalty area here, it's attacked by Lucas Moura. It drops for Kane, but his half volley didn't really catch it quite so cleanly, and it's straight again at Carl Darlow's. Took a couple of them straight at him.
Yeah, Ben Davies cross to the back, Moura contests it again. Kane on the turn, doesn't get all of it, does he? No. Straight at Darlow this time.
Weak effort from Harry Kane, who's slowly but surely totting up his attempts at goal. I think that might be his fifth now. But it is definitely Tottenham who are the better side in this game. Second half, though, a lot more even. Just not many real attempts at goal for Hugo Lloris to deal with as of yet. Here's Hayden back to Carl Darlow, thumping it long for Wilson, who gets his head on the ball, but he didn't mean to guide it back towards John Joe Shelvey, but John Joe Shelvey gets it nonetheless. John Joe brings it forward, sweeping it out wide to Ritchie. Good first touch from Ritchie. Sets it down and plays it down the left side for Joe Linton. There's two black shirts in the middle. One of them is Miguel Almiron, stands on the ball, but he lays it off instead for Jeff Hendrick with a strike. And it's a pretty woeful effort, to be honest, from Jeff Hendrick. A good 10-15 yards wide, but that was good play from Newcastle down the left-hand side.
Yeah, it was. Matt Ritchie, great little ball out to him, wasn't it? Bides his time.
Nobody tracking Joe Linton.
No, slides him in. That's a good cutback as well. Almiron, a lovely little set, and you can see what Hendrick's trying to do. He's trying to cut across the ball, but in the end he drags it completely opposite of what he was trying to do, way wide. But I tell you what, Newcastle easing themselves into this game now.
They really are. About half an hour to go here in North London. Tottenham still lead 1-0, and Newcastle have been sitting defensively for most of it, but this second half they have come out, and Tottenham haven't really kicked on, but they might get an opportunity here as Kane plays it in behind to Doherty. Thought about the shot, nobody in support. He pulls it across for Lo Celso. Can he get his shot away? No, his touch is heavy. He then tries to backheel it, but misses the ball, would you believe? Still has it. He now goes back to Davis, right-footed inside to Højbjerg, always looking to play it forward. Højbjerg, Mora into Højbjerg, into Lo Celso. Can he get his shot away? Cuts it onto his right foot, does get his shot away. It's a tame effort, but still difficult to save. Darlow palms it away. Kane gets his shot away. It hits Hayden in the midriff. Kane still with possession, dings it towards that back post. It's over everybody, and is kept in on the far side by Miguel Almiron. But Tottenham with a couple of good opportunities there. Darlow with a smart save down to his left-hand side.
Good passage of play, wasn't it? Lo Celso getting the ball onto his right foot, angling again towards the far corner, parried away only to Harry Kane. Lovely dink ball into the back post, but Newcastle defended it very, very well, albeit it was all hands to the pump, wasn't it?
It really was. Well, there was claims of a handball here against Jamal Lascelles. I think it would have been harsh to give this as a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, he's a yard away from him, but when it comes back to Kane, it's a lovely little stand up to the back post. The two Newcastle defenders do extremely well.
Yeah, now obviously we've seen a few dodgy penalty decisions given this weekend and this season, in fact. I mean, was that a natural position for Jamal Lascelles to have his arm in, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it looks like he's in agony. The ball did hit his arm. I can't see, unless it's winded him and hit him in the stomach, but it looked like it hit his hand, didn't it? His arm?
Yeah, I mean, a natural position, if the ball is getting blasted at you from a yard or two away, you're always going to turn to cover your sensitive parts, aren't you? I think that's...
Yeah, I mean, that's human nature. I mean, you cannot possibly give a penalty for that. You put your arm to protect yourself down where you need to protect yourself. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, you could see in the Everton game yesterday that I think it was Joel Ward conceded a penalty because he had his arm out wide. But in that kind of situation, you're just setting your balance. And again, you could argue that that's a natural position. I mean, we saw the one with Lindelof as well the week before for Manchester United against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And again, is that an unnatural position? If you're running and you need your arms for balance, and you build momentum with your arms.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's too many grey areas regarding this handball rule, how it is.
Yeah.
A lot of these officials, referees that have not played, they wouldn't understand running at full pace and where you put arms for balance, etc. It's a difficult one, but the easiest thing would to be no grey areas.
And just say every time the ball hits an arm, it's a free kick or a penalty.
Well, yeah, but that way you're going to get games ending up 6-5 and things like that. I'm sure the amount of times balls hit hands and arms in the area.
Yeah.
I think what they are saying is, here we go, Tottenham. If you're making your body bigger, if you like, the surface area by having your arms out, then they will give penalties.
Here's Lucas Moura, gets his ball into the penalty area, headed away by Lascelles. Solid defending there from Newcastle. And it is a grey area. Hopefully we won't have to come to a handball decision for a penalty in this game. VAR has kept out of it so far. I think I've quite enjoyed the game for that reason. Here's Doherty with the throw in midway inside Newcastle half. Goes back to Davinson Sanchez. Now Eric Dyer on the centre spot. Out wide to Ben Davis. Tottenham enjoying possession at the moment in their back line, much like they did in that first half. Here's Bergwijn out wide. Ben Davis needs an option. Has to go all the way back though to Harry Winks. And now Højbjerg. Winks looking for options. Here's the shout from Bergwijn. Can he get past Hayden? He skips onto his right foot, goes inside to Højbjerg. Winks. He's just done the simple things so well today, hasn't he, Harry Winks?
Yeah, simplicity is best in my opinion. He 95% of the time finds a white shirt, whether it's 5 yards, 10 yards. He can hit good through balls as well. Very much in the Michael Carrick role. Every team needs someone. You take him out of it, pretty sure Tottenham would see a difference.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get many goals, but you don't really need to when you've got Harry Kane and Min Son on your side.
He doesn't need to, the role he plays. He just keeps the game moving. Højbjerg as well, he's the same. I know Højbjerg is more likely to get you a goal. He's got terrific strike on him, hasn't he?
Yeah, really does. He enjoys to pass it forward. Højbjerg made more forward passes than anybody else in the Premier League last season. The Man U Tottenham side in the summer.
That's going to hurt.
Matt Ritchie just clattered by Matt Doherty, who seems to be okay, but Ritchie is thumping the floor in agony. And the Tottenham physio right over to Newcastle's left back.
He's such a genuine player, Matt Ritchie, isn't he? And he's just got eyes on the ball. There's a diagonal ball hit out to Matt Doherty, and he's got eyes on the ball. He's not even looking at Doherty, and then as he turns, he's just run straight into him. It's his shoulder, I think.
And big whack from Matt Ritchie, who's making his first start of the season today, Ritchie, and he's putting a pretty decent performance into that left side. Oof, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a big collision into Doherty's shoulder and then a big heavy landing as well to add insult to injury.
And he smacked his head on the floor as well. Like I say, you can see from the replay, he's only got eyes for the ball. He probably knows there's going to be some form of collision, because when he set off, he would have seen Matt Doherty out there. But that is some impact.
Running at full pelt as well. So just to remind you that straight after this game here in North London, we'll be going up to Manchester for Manchester City versus Leicester City. Two sides with 100% records in the Premier League. That will end today for sure. Toby and Kit will be the lads in the commentary box for you this afternoon, but there's still a good 23 minutes of normal time to play here. But when there's stoppages like this, we're probably going to be closer to 4 or 5 minutes added on rather than the usual 2 or 3. Well, it looks like he's run his race, Matt Ritchie. Jamal Lewis down in front of us, the Newcastle number 15, signed from Norwich in the summer after their disappointing season last year, but he was definitely one of the standout players for the relegated Canaries.
Yeah, he done well for him, got his move, didn't he? But Matt Ritchie, I'm sure, will be really shook up by that collision.
Yeah, well, he was part of that Norwich team that beat Tottenham on penalties, you may remember, all the way back in March in the FA Cup 5th round. So he's got experience of beating them as the young left back, only 22 years of age. I think he was linked with Liverpool before he was snapped up by Newcastle. I think he may have actually been bidded on by Jurgen Klopp's side, and nothing came of that. But he got his move to the Premier League. He's definitely a Premier League player, and he's going to get his third appearance of the season today, coming on with 22 minutes to go for the injured Matt Ritchie. Disappointing to see Ritchie go off.
Yeah, he's done well. I like him. Intelligent, genuine, very good left foot. Probably should be playing higher up the pitch, but they've got a ready-made left back to come on.
Yeah, as the ball's played forward by Shelvey. Lewis is going to get his first touch here under pressure from Lucas Moura, but he rather calmly just skips backwards and goes to Federico Fernandez, who bumps the ball forwards at Almiron. Chests it down for Joe Linton. Lewis making a gut-busting run down that left-hand side. That's what you like to see from your man who's just came on. Here is Lewis, but you don't like to see that. He's giving it away. Matt Doherty then fouled from behind by Miguel Almiron. A rather soft one from the tricky Paraguayan.
Again, Matt Doherty going nowhere, and Almiron fouls him. It's hugely frustrating for any manager, that I can tell you.
Especially when you're sitting back for so much of the game and you've got the ball up near the corner flag of the opposition. Real difficult thing to get your head around for Steve Bruce. Jose looking on the touchline, prowling his technical area. I think he'll be pretty happy with everything he's seen today. I think he'll be disappointed the score is still only 1-0. Second half, they just haven't been at it as much as they were in the first, though, Spurs.
No, Newcastle they were only going to get better. I mean, they couldn't be as defensive as they were. They have shown some ambition, haven't they, the Magpies?
Yeah, they have, getting forward a lot more in the second half, but still lacking something. I think they just need a change of shape, or I'm pretty sure we'll see Andy Carroll come on for at least 10 minutes or so of this game, where Newcastle just decide to go a bit longer.
Yeah, well, like I said, while it was 1, Steve Bruce would have been, it didn't matter how dominant Spurs were, Steve Bruce would have been really reluctant to change things, knowing that they will always get a chance, and they still will.
They still will. Still time. 20 minutes to go as Tottenham come forward here, but Manquillo dispossesses Davis with a solid sliding challenge. Højbjerg wins it back though for Spurs. Mora out wide to Doherty. There's 4 white shirts ahead of him. He puts it in towards Bergwijn at the back post, and Darlow scrambles across to his right hand side to catch that half volley. But Steven Bergwijn, via a deflection and a decent strike at the Newcastle goal there.
When that ball got rolled out to Matt Doherty, you could see Bergwijn was on his own, and by hook or by crook it found its way to him, and again didn't quite get enough purchase on it, did he?
No. Now, do you reckon if that was Heung-min Son and he was still on, do you think he'd have done better in that situation?
Difficult to tell. I mean, ball was spinning, wasn't really a volley or a half volley. It bounced up in quite a difficult way.
Oh, what a touch that is from Lucas Moura to get away from Lewis. Swings the ball, well, trying to get into the penalty area. He didn't actually make it, but Tottenham still have it. Winks. Here's Bergwijn, the former PSV man, into Lo Celso. Tries to slide it in behind for Harry Kane, but across comes I think it was Lascelles who stepped in to stop that getting through. Solid defending, leading by example, Jamal Lascelles.
Just wasn't enough on the pass, was there, from Lascelles?
The idea was there.
Right idea.
Yeah. Lascelles and Kane not quite on the same wavelength that time, but that's why he's opted for Lascelles instead of Tanguy and Ndombele today. He offers that kind of head up, looking for a through ball kind of mindset. Ndombele certainly a bit more defensive. Here's Winks in behind for Ben Davis. Only Lucas Moura in the penalty area. He gets it into first touch has Lewis for company. Back to Bergwijn, edge of the penalty area is the Dutchman. Now here's Winks. Kane's out wide, but Winks just waited too long and had his pocket picked by Miguel Almiron. Shelvey to Jeff Hendrick. And Newcastle start an attack here. They play it down the line, looking for the run of Almiron, but it's absolutely nowhere near the Newcastle man. And you do feel as we get closer to the 90th minute that Steve Bruce will have to make a change one way or another.
Well, it's worth trying something, isn't it? He had the enforced change.
Still got attacking options on the bench though.
Yeah.
Jacob Murphy offers a bit of pace, a bit of width, a bit of dynamism, which is what they could always do with Newcastle United. No Alan Saint-Maximin today, of course. Here's Doherty dispossessed by Joe Linton, being temporary left back momentarily as he's tripped by Lucas Moura, and I'm not too sure about that. Bit of a soft one for Jose's liking that.
Well, Jose Mourinho was on the pitch. That ball was going down the right hand side. His player gave it away. Joe Linton takes it off Doherty. Look, he's on the pitch. Unbelievable.
Jose Mourinho just stepping a yard or so out of his technical area there. Had to apologise to the linesman.
And Mike Dean, laughing through his mask, said, you know, Jose, you're not part of the game. You can't be on the pitch, mate. But I can see where his frustration was. Matt Doherty gave the ball away and his reaction was really poor. It was one of walking back. And I think Jose was trying to say, come on, get back.
I thought he was trying to fill in at right back for a minute, to be honest. Well, it's a sub for Newcastle United. Jacob Murphy is on for Jeff Hendrick, who's put in a pretty solid shift in midfield, but I think attacking wise he's been rather lacking.
Yeah, solid, but again, you know, like we said, that midfield, Hayden, Hendrick, Shelvey, you know, all much of a muchness in terms of none of them really want to run past the front players. At least Murphy will do that.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get the opportunity. Here he is, tussling with Harry Kane. He's won the ball, Jacob Murphy. He's running right down the middle and he's ran into traffic, but he's done well actually to keep possession and then skip away from Harry Winks. Instant impact from Murphy. Here's Almiron up against Doherty. He's got time to weigh the ball up into the middle, trying to find Murphy. Will it go through to Wilson? No, it's away by Davis. And now Tottenham can counter. This is what they want, Spurs. Here's Moura and now Lo Celso. Kane wants it on the far side. Bergwijn's available down the middle, but goes out wide to Harry Kane. who's looking forward up against Javier Manquillo, who's just stepping off, allowing the England captain to come on to him. Eventually holds it up and gives it to Harry Winks. Here's Kane in behind. He's trying to get away from Jacob Murphy, who's back in there defending, and he's tapped it behind for a corner. Harry Kane just slowing down the counter-attack a bit there.
Yeah, he did, but I think rightfully so. He didn't have bodies forwards. He was never going to really run anyone for paces. He's a strong runner, Harry Kane, isn't he? He's not electric. So he just waited, held it up, kept possession, and then at the right time tries to beat his man. They get a corner.
Yeah, clever football from Harry Kane. And there's a corner here which Bergwijn will take in towards the near post. It's attacked by Sanchez. He came flying in like a salmon through the air. And he's claiming a corner, but it will be a goal kick. Strong lead from Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, it was a good ball, wasn't it? That's the one into the danger area you want to see.
Yeah.
In fact, that is a corner, I think. Should be a corner.
I think it came off Hayden last, and it will be a corner. Referee's changed his mind. Hayden man for Sanchez. Well, we know where this one's going. Bergwijn into Sanchez again, except this time it's been pulled back for a foul. Davinson Sanchez just a bit of a high foot on the head of Jacob Murphy there. But he's putting a pretty solid performance so far, Davinson Sanchez.
He's played well today. Yep, certainly has. He's done well.
There's the second substitution of the game for Tottenham Hotspur. Giovanni Lo Celso coming off, and it'll be Tanguy Ndombele coming on, the number 28. And I don't think there'll be too much of a change of system for Spurs. Maybe just fresh legs for fresh legs.
Yeah. Again, playing a different way, but like for like in terms of position.
Yeah, definitely that. The midfield three of Lo Celso, Winks and Højbjerg have had a lot of possession in this game, particularly in the first half, where Tottenham were all over today's visitors. But I said that he was probably going to make an appearance this afternoon, and here he is, right on time. Andy Carroll on for Miguel Almiron. He'll certainly offer something different to Miguel Almiron, that's for sure.
Yeah, he will. He's not going to be playing out on the right hand side, that's for sure.
He's certainly not. He's already down the floor, Andy Carroll. But Shelby has it now. Joe Linton. 3 strikers on the pitch for Newcastle United. You don't see that too often. Here's Lewis trying to play it inside to Shelby, but it's well read by Højbjerg. And now, maybe in this last 13 minutes or so, the game will start to open up with changes for both sides. Lucas Moura visits it inside to Harry Kane. He's got Ndombele in the middle, but he's gone to Bergwijn out wide. Can he get a shot away? It's Bergwijn onto his right foot, pulls it back instead to Winks, rather than trying to get his shot away.
Too many touches there for me. Once he got it out his feet, good build-up play, wasn't it? Sharp, incisive.
Yeah, good football. And again, Kane with the intelligence to feed it to Bergwijn rather than Ndombele, who was the easy pass. Here is Ndombele. Tottenham being forced back just from the positioning of Newcastle United. Well, Joe Linton still playing in the midfield for Newcastle, but it's Carroll and Wilson leading the line, just like on the opening day of the season when they beat West Ham. Here's Moura, cuts inside away from Lewis. Can he get a shot away? Moura blocked by Federico Fernandez. Well, the backside of Federico Fernandez. You get told not to turn your back on shots, but it came in handy there.
It's good defending, I think.
There's Lewis in a collision with Doherty, but there's a free kick for Newcastle. I think there's Højbjerg in on Wilson, the referee. Peter Banks just taking his time to make that decision, but Callum Wilson eventually getting it. Højbjerg just with a knock in the back of the former Bournemouth man.
Yeah, it's a foul. He's got his arm around his shoulder. But you can't knock Steve Bruce for having a go. Like you say, Richie's got 4 forwards on the pitch now.
Yeah, and here comes another forward making his way onto the pitch. This one's Eric Lamela coming on in place of Lucas Moura. Eric Lamela making his 3rd appearance of the season in the Premier League. All of them have been from the substitutes bench. Here goes Carroll up with Dyer. Carroll won it. Murphy brings it down. It's a poor touch. Tottenham win it back. Bergwijn back to Davis. Davis forward looking for Harry Kane. He's in a tussle with Lascelles, and the last touch came off of Jamal Lascelles.
Good forward play from Harry Kane. He knows he's not really going to get hold of that ball. He just makes it difficult for Lascelles, doesn't he? It rebounds off the Newcastle defender, and Tottenham get a throw on halfway.
Yeah. So what do you think of Lamella's position in this side with Gareth Bale coming in? Presumably Gareth Bale's going to jump ahead of him in the pecking order.
Yeah, I mean, they've got an embarrassment of riches, Spurs, haven't they? I mean, Lamella's been there a long, long time now, and you're thinking if they need to claw back some form of money, income, then Lamela will be the one to make way and to be going out the door. You just never know with Jose Mourinho, do you?
I know. I mean, I think he was the one who was brought in to not replace Gareth Bale, but to, play the similar kind of role that he was playing, when he left all those years ago. And I don't think he's really lived up to the billing. Not that Gareth Bale is an easy act to follow.
No, he's just been okay, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been all right. A lot of substitute appearances. Here come Newcastle though. Jacob Murphy, edge of the penalty area, can't get away from Davis. Solid defending from the Welsh international left back. Here's Kane now, halfway line. He's looking for Bergwijn to make some movement, but Bergwijn is just watching his captain drift with possession and ultimately lose it. Isaac Hayden stepping in. There's a ball in behind for Andy Carroll, who goes down under the challenge from Sanchez. Dramatic fall from Carroll, and he's furious with that, and I've got to keep speaking because you can hear everything that Andy Carroll's saying, and he's certainly not happy with that. But no free kick at all. That is the positive and the negative of being able to hear exactly what footballers say.
It was along the lines of, come on ref, that's a free kick.
We'll go with that. Not a great Geordie accent that though, Kev. So.
No.
Is Ben Davis, Eric Dyer, Ndombele. Now Winks spreads the ball out wide. Maybe that decision will rile up Andy Carroll a little bit. Definitely one of those players who plays better when he's a little bit angry. Here's Lamela. Prods it across to Winks, who sweeps the ball out wide looking for Bergwijn. He's found him, Bergwijn now running at Manquillo. Good opportunity this for Spurs. And Ndombele. Oh, poor first touch, but he's got possession still. Has to go backwards though. Winks, 40 yards from goal. Ndombele. Lamela, edge of the penalty area. Can he get his shot away? Kane wanted it, but Lamela still has it. No width at the moment for Spurs. Lamela's meant to be offering that. And now Winks.
Yeah, you're right. No width. They're taking too many touches around the box, Tottenham. They all want to do the same job.
Yeah, but here they come now. This is Doherty. Out wide, 3 white shirts in the penalty area. He skips away from Lewis, who blocks off Doherty. And that'll be a free kick right on the paint of the penalty area. And it's a yellow card for Jamal Lewis.
Poor from Jamal Lewis, that. Like you say, you're not meant to turn your back. He must know that Doherty is going to fake to cross that and then dive inside. Or he could see it. He turns his back. Yeah, body check. Fortunate not to give away a penalty there.
Yeah, it was definitely outside the penalty area, but only just. The fall was in the penalty area, but his momentum kind of took him into the box. But this is a dangerous position, this, for Spurs, and there's not been many opportunities in this second half for either side, to be honest. So this goal here could well and truly wrap up the game. And the man is the man who's standing over it. Doherty's still down on the turf at the moment. I think he'll be all right. Just needs to get rid of the birds flying around his head. Caldalo looking for a strong wall, because this is the kind of angle where a sneaky shot could just trickle in. You should pretty much always expect a cross from this kind of position. Eric Lamela is one of those players who, I think, wants to try his luck. He's got one blue boot and one red boot. That's an interesting style. Eric Lamela, left foot. He does have a shot. He goes for goal. Darlow saves it and tips it on to the roof of his net. Good reaction save again from Carl Darlow. He's put in a brilliant display.
Yeah, he has. Really good save. That's difficult. It's a great bit of skill from Lamela, isn't it? Yeah. He's got hardly any room. He's got about 10 yards to get that up and down over a very big Newcastle wall. He does. Good save.
Yeah, the corner comes from Lamela. It's short though to Bergwijn. Can he get it in? He does, right footed, headed away by Murphy. Winks gets it edge of the box. In pops Shelby though, and Newcastle are flooding forward here. Shelby, pass has got to be right. He finds Murphy. He's got Wilson running ahead of him, but he runs into Davis, who wants the throw in. He doesn't get it. The whole Tottenham bench up in arms wanting that throw in. But Tottenham have got players back now, and that was a good chance for Newcastle to break as Shelby plays the ball long, looking for Andy Carroll, who wins the header against Doherty, but sweeping up is that man, Harry Winks.
First mistake all afternoon from Harry Winks, taking a touch on the edge of the box, puts his hand up there, first break in play, acknowledging he was the deepest line midfielder. He lost out, didn't he, to Shelby, but he's been outstanding. For me, the outstanding player on the pitch.
Yeah, they did well to get back in time there, Tottenham. It was Davis putting in a solid performance in at left back. Obviously, this new boy has come in from Madrid, the left back Sergio Reguilon, on the bench today, but having made their 3 substitutions, he's not going to make an appearance today. But Ben Davis, for me, he's put in a pretty solid performance.
He's played really well. He'll have to up his game. I'm not sure that it's going to count for much.
No, brilliant touch from Kane, run into the penalty area. Can't get past Lascelles though. It's been a real good battle between Jamal Lascelles and Harry Kane all afternoon, and so far it's been Lascelles who's won most of the battles. Ndombele up with Hayden. The second ball falls to Bergwijn, who's being pressured by Lascelles. Bergwijn will take the throw in. Bergwijn drops the ball for Ben Davis. Apologies if you heard any strong language there. Looking for options down the left-hand channel. Davis, 5 minutes of normal time to go. It's still Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle 0 on Premier League Live.
Like I say, while it's still only 1, Steve Bruce will be thinking, just get the ball into Tottenham's half. Can we muster one more chance?
You feel like there's one more opportunity to pump it into the penalty area.
Yeah, there always is. I always say that. No matter where you are in a game, there always seems to be one more chance that comes your way right at the end of a game.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of time added on for all the substitutions. The injury to Ritchie as well. I'm expecting at least 4 minutes to go up on that board in a few minutes. Here's Carl Darlow with the ball in his own penalty area. Ports the ball right down the middle where Højbjerg wins it, unchallenged by anybody in black and purple. As Manquillo kicks it against Harry Kane, who's gone down injured here. Was it a ball in the face?
Could be, could well have been.
And he's gone down, Kane. I think he'll be alright. Just needs a moment. Maybe to the wind knocked out of him. I don't think it's a serious injury for Harry Kane. I don't think Jose has to worry too much about this, or who knows, it could just be, you don't like to judge anybody of it, but it could just be a clever little bit of gamesmanship to run down the clock. No, to be fair, he did take the ball in a sensitive area. Seems to be okay anyway. Manquillo has finally got the ball in his hands and is ready to take the throw in. Manquillo launches it down the right hand side, looking for Andy Carroll, who's been doubled up on by Dyer and Davis. Shanked up into the air for Hayden to win the header. Shelvey knocks it out wide for Carroll. Falls into the chest of Jacob Murphy, who tries to play it down the line to Andy Carroll, but the pass goes out of play. Needs to do better there, Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, he does. That's a little 3-yard pass. Very, very inaccurate from him there.
Yeah, so he came on in the second half. All the subs have been made. Nothing to change from either of these sides in the final few minutes.
I need you up there. Spin, Stevie. Ben.
The ball goes down the far side. Kane goes up with Manquillo. It's the Spaniard who gets his head on that, so it'll go behind for it'll go out for a Spurs throw-in midway inside the Newcastle half, down the Spurs left. Bit of pace just gone out of the game past few minutes. Here's Kane. Ndombele running backwards with the ball, gives it to Winks, gives it to Doherty, the right back. Lamela, good first touch from him, and now Ndombele, clever little flick into Bergwijn, back to Ndombele. Kane wants it in the middle, can he find him? It's Harry Kane. Oh, and it's a weak effort from Harry Kane. He's claiming a handball against Jamal Lascelles, but he was still able to get his shot away, Harry Kane. And once again, another pretty tame effort straight at Carl Darlow.
Yeah, I think the ball just bounced a bit high for him, but what about the skill from Ndombele? Ball gets rolled into him and he uses the pace on the ball just to flick it, let it roll off the outside of his foot over the defender. Magnificent skill.
Good play from Tanguy Ndombele. We saw a little bit of that in the Southampton game, didn't we, at the end of the first half last weekend, where he skipped away from the midfield before sliding it in to Heung-min Son. Carroll, strong header. Can it fall here for Wilson, who's fed on scraps all day? Oh, and it's a crazy deflection. A breakdown in communication between Davis and I think it was Dyer coming together, and Davis just volleyed it straight at the Tottenham defender. No, it was Højbjerg who was in there, and it goes behind for a corner. For a moment there, I thought that was ricocheting into the Tottenham net.
Well, that's the danger when it's only 1-0. Andy Carroll, big ball in. Look at that.
Oh, flipping heck.
And Davis smashes it at Højbjerg, trying to clear it with his right foot. Actually hits him on the upper arm, and he's lucky that doesn't go past Lloris.
As the corner comes into the penalty spot, in towards Andy Carroll, where will it drop? It drops at the feet of Sanchez, who shanks it away upfield. And now Bergwijn is being tussled by Lewis, but the referee waves play on, and Tottenham's counter continues. Bergwijn taken out by Hayden, and that is probably going to be a yellow card for the former Arsenal Academy man, and there it is. The confirmation of the yellow card for Isaac Hayden.
But going back to that chance, let's have a look.
What is this? A potential handball against Eric Dyer? I mean, it's literally a foot away. Carroll heads it at the upper arm of Dyer, does he?
Oh, I tell you what, it depends who's sitting there.
Yeah, it's going goal-bound, you could say, that header from Andy Carroll. The referee is Peter Banks, the VAR, the video assistant referee, I should say, is Lee Mason, but the decision is that there is no handball, and I think we've got sanity here in North London.
Yeah. Wasn't looking at the ball, Dyer, was he? Turned his back, arm comes out, it's just pure balance.
Yeah, and Tottenham can come forward here as we tick over into added time. Here's Ndombele, 5 minutes added on. Here's Doherty, he's got support in the middle from Ndombele. Can Ndombele find Kane in the middle? Still Ndombele, skips away from Joe Linton, pulls it back, it's deflected across and away by Murphy. That could have ricocheted anywhere.
He's been bright, Ndombele, hasn't he?
He really has. Tottenham still have it. Murray winks. He plays it over the top, looking for Bergwijn. Chested back to his goalkeeper, though, by Javi Manquillo. Carroll. Here's Manquillo. Shelvey. No. Federico Fernandez, we've had a minute of the 5 added on. Is there an equaliser in this for Newcastle? Joe Linton, brilliant turn again to get away from Doherty. He opens up for him, but he gives it away to Winks, who can just kick it away, but a free kick's been brought back here for a foul on Joe Linton. Was it coming together with Højbjerg? I think maybe Joe Linton made a run off the ball and Højbjerg just body checked him.
Well, it looks that way. I mean, he's done alright, Joe Linton. He's played in a role that's very unfamiliar to him. Let's have a look. It's a bad pass. Yeah. Højbjerg knows what he's doing. He's just blocked his run.
Stands his ground.
With 2 or 3 minutes left, this will be the chance that Steve Bruce was waiting for, to put this into Tottenham's box with some quality, which Shelvey has. Could be problems.
Yeah, we've got 3 and a bit minutes of injury time to play. Is this the moment where Newcastle make the most of it? It's a difficult angle to get it in and generate too much power. Carroll is lurking at the back post at the moment, marked by Stephen Bergwijn. That seems like a mismatch. It's in towards Carroll, who wins the header. It's into the middle, claims of handball, and Tottenham get rid. Shelvey having the conversation with Peter Banks at the moment.
Another claim for handball.
Yeah, I'll have to see that replay in just a second as Manquillo thumps it back towards Andy Carroll, who's up with Davis. He wins the header. It drops here for Hayden. Can he get his shot away? In the D, it's scrapped away by Spurs, and they can counter now. Lamela. It's 3-on-3 at the moment. Lamela, Kane screaming for it on the far side. Here's Harry Kane running at Javi Manquillo. Oh, and Manquillo with a solid left foot in there to kick it behind for a Spurs corner. And for a moment there, it looked as if the Tottenham captain was going to skip away from Manquillo.
Yeah, that'll be relief for Jose Mourinho again. And again, Carroll heads it onto the arm of Dyer.
Yeah, and his arm is in a very, very wide position. Oh, and it's headed at him at such a pace from such a short distance.
And he's looking the other way.
And he's looking at the complete opposite direction to where the ball is. If this is given, this is so unfortunate, but the only way I see it is it's in an unnatural position, so I guess by the letter of the law.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that there are too many grey areas. Yeah, some weeks these will be given and some weeks they won't.
And it looks like they're also checking for an offside against Andy Carroll at the back post. I think he's just about level, is he, Andy Carroll?
Carroll is, but the one in the middle's not. Look, or is he? Yeah, he's
the guy in the middle's just off, but it didn't. I think that's Fernandez. It didn't go to Fernandez. It went to Carroll. Oh, we're getting a zoom in and everything. Oh, there's so many pixels there. You can't even make out which player's which. The video system referees Lee Mason, an experienced Premier League referee. He knows what he's looking for, but I'd say that's level, Andy Carroll.
Yeah, Andy Carroll's level with the back of. Oh, I can't see who it is. Possibly Ben Davis.
Yeah, I think so. Or Eric Dyer. They seem to be level.
You cannot differentiate. I mean, now they're getting the dotted line out. What? I mean, where's it ever going to end?
It looks pretty level to me. It'll be so harsh if this is ruled out for offside. I mean,
the fact is that they're checking for the offside means if he's onside, they're going to give a penalty. I think that's the way it's, because they're checking it.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're being told that they're checking for a possible penalty for handball. The decision is onside.
Oh, no.
So now that means they're going to check for the penalty, presumably. Well, Peter Banks, the referee, is going to have a look at the monitor at the side of the pitch here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've got about 30 seconds of injury time to remain.
Referee's worst nightmare, eh? 30 seconds left.
Well, it certainly struck the arm of Eric Dyer, and it is in an unnatural position, but he's jumping up in the air. I don't understand how you're meant to jump. And
do you know what? I think he's going to give that.
I think so as well. Well, here's the decision, and it is a penalty for Newcastle United in the final minute of injury time. Andy Carroll's header strikes the arm of the Tottenham defender Eric Dyer, and a handball is given, and a penalty is given to Newcastle United in the final throes of this Premier League game.
Well, it's an absolute nonsense, isn't it? I mean, they're showing it and we're watching it. You know, that is slowed down to maximum effect. He's not looking at the ball, Dyer. He's challenging. Carroll's behind him. He puts his arm up. Is it to actually stop it with his arm? Does he mean to stop it with his arm? It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
I don't think so. I mean, it's certainly not intentional. It's from, less than a yard away?
Yeah.
Eric Dyer's facing away from it. What's he meant to do?
They've really, really got to look at this rule, because it's becoming quite bizarre. And, you know, we did say that there will be one more chance. We didn't think it would come like this, but could be the last kick of the game here.
And yeah, it's going to be Callum Wilson, the man who's put in a real shift today, who's going to get the opportunity from 12 yards up against Hugo Lloris, who I don't think has made a save in the whole game. He's going to have to make one now in the 96th minute. We saw a goal in the 111th minute, was it, at Manchester United yesterday? Seeing potentially another late one today. It'll be Callum Wilson and Newcastle United against Hugo Lloris from the penalty spot. And Hugo Lloris gets a fingertip to it, but it goes into the back of the net, and Callum Wilson from the spot finds a late equaliser for Newcastle United. Jose Mourinho's seen enough. He's straight down the tunnel, but Newcastle celebrate a smash and grab win thanks to Callum Wilson and a late call from the video assistant referee.
Well, it's unbelievable. Eric Dyer, well, he don't know where to look, does he? Totally despondent. The only thing you can say is brilliant bottle from Callum Wilson to step up. Absolutely. Possibly the last kick of the game. Lloris gets a touch, but there's so much pace on it. It's right in the corner. And there is the one chance that they were going to get, and it's been dispatched, rightly or wrongly.
You called it, Kev. They get one more chance, and there it is. Callum Wilson, the man who has honestly had absolutely nothing to do apart from chase every lost ball after every lost ball, and he's been rewarded with a goal from the spot.
Well, it just goes to show you miss your chances and you only stay 1-0 up when you had complete and utter dominance in a game. The other team will always get a chance, and I always say it, and it's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, well, that penalty I think was given on the 92nd minute, so I think we'll probably tick over into probably the 99th minute. We're currently on the 97th minute, so still a bit of football to be played here. Can Tottenham get their lead back at the end? Harry Winks yellow carded for dissent as the ball comes into the penalty area. Up goes Matt Doherty, but all day that'll fall into the grasp of a grateful Carl Darlow, who's probably been man of the match for Newcastle United.
He's done brilliant for them, yeah.
If you had to pick a man of the match, who would you give today, Kev?
Well, like I say, I'm a big fan of Harry Winks. Probably would have given it to him. But like, we're looking up the other end there, and the only reason that's not given as a handball against Lascelles is because his arm's next to his body.
Yeah, that's it. And there is the final whistle in North London. A controversial end to a pretty entertaining game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Well, the first 45 minutes was all about Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur. They were completely dominant. Newcastle hardly getting out of their half in the first 45, and it told with a goal from Lucas Moura on the 24th minute after some brilliant play from Harry Kane to drag his cross shot towards that back post. And well, there's a red card at the end here. I'm trying to see who he's given that to. Is that Lo Celso, who's came back off the substitutes bench to have a word with the referee? There's utter chaos here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. trying to work out who that is. Can you tell who that is there, Kev?
I think it's one of the backroom staff. In fact, it is one of the backroom
is.
staff. Couldn't tell you who that is, but he's been red carded. I think what is poor, Rich, is the fact that Jose Mourinho walked down the tunnel, you know, rightly or wrongly, and I believe wrongly the penalty was given, and he's clearly very, very upset. But stay and shake your counterpart's hand in Steve Bruce, and I think that's what Steve Bruce was saying to one of the backroom staff. You know, it's a bit of a sore, and they've not lost, but it's a bit of a sore loser status he's given there.
Absolutely. Mourinho straight down the tunnel in a real controversial game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The final score is Spurs 1, Newcastle United 1, and this is exactly how it happened. Well, here's Son coming forward. He goes out wide to Harry Kane on his left foot. Can he get away from Hayden? Pulls it back across the face of goal, and there's a tap in for Lucas Moura at the far post. Harry Kane with a few step overs and then a drag cross shot allows the Brazilian Lucas Moura to tap in on the 24-minute mark. And here in North London, it's Spurs 1, Newcastle 0.
Well, as soon as you see Harry Kane get the ball in that inside left channel, you know it's going to be one of two things. He's either going to drive inside and get a shot with his right foot, or he's going to go outside and it's going to be the cross shot with his left. It was the latter. It's a wonderful ball across to the back post, and Lucas Moura can't miss. 1-0 Spurs.
And now Son, edge of the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? Can? It's a looping effort onto the crossbar from Heung-min Son. Still alive in the middle. Lascelles volleys up into the air, but Son from the edge of the penalty area, rattling the woodwork here in North London.
Woodwork coming to Newcastle's rescue yet again. And again it's Son. Twice now. Once the post. And that one, again, gets it out his feet, onto his left foot, curling effort, dipping effort, and it cannons off that Newcastle crossbar with Darlow well beaten.
It'll be Callum Wilson and Newcastle United against Hugo Lloris from the penalty spot. And Hugo Lloris gets a fingertip to it, but it goes into the back of the net, and Callum Wilson from the spot finds a late equaliser for Newcastle United. Jose Mourinho's seen enough. He's straight down the tunnel, but Newcastle celebrate a smash and grab win thanks to Callum Wilson and a late call from the video assistant referee. Well, what drama here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I mean, Kevin Watson, where